Mama's cooking. My mama's cooking. Why? Get a little taste of mama's cooking. Mama's cooking. Mama's cooking. Get a little taste of mama's cooking. Why? Get a little taste of mama's cooking. Mama's cooking. Mama's cooking. Get a little taste of mama's cooking. Mama's cooking. Mama's cooking. Mama's cooking. Mama's cooking. Mama's cooking. There's a new sheriff in town, bitches. Get a little taste of mama's cooking. Mama's cooking. Mama's cooking. Get a little taste of mama's cooking. 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 Fuck you, talking about, nigga. My mama's cooking. My mama's cooking. My mama's cooking. Bitch, you can't do it. I'm gonna get a beat to that. Bitch, you can't do it. Bitch, you can't do it. Bitch, you can't do it. I'm gonna slow it down for the Texas nigga. Bitch, you can't do it. Bitch, you can't do it. Bitch, you can't do it. Fuck you, talking about, nigga. Get a little taste of mama's cooking. Mama's cooking. Mama's cooking. Get a little taste of mama's cooking. Why? Get a little taste of mama's cooking. Mama's cooking. Mama's cooking. Get a little taste of mama's cooking.
I just have one thing to say. Hang on here.
Black, you ain't black. Black leadership. 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 You ain't black. I want black. You ain't black. Something for black. You ain't black. I want black. You ain't black. Something for black. You ain't 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 black. I want black. Trump. You ain't black. Racism. You ain't black. Charlemagne. You ain't black. Essential workers. You ain't black.
I'm black.
You ain't black.
Why not?
You ain't black.
Come on, guys. I'm Black Dana.
Come on, man. You ain't black. Blacks. You ain't black. Dr. King. You ain't black. This virus. You ain't black. Come on, man. You ain't black. A disproportionate amount of them ain't black. Ain't black. Now people recognize that you ain't black and you ain't black. You ain't black. I want black. You ain't black. Something for black. You ain't black. I want black. You ain't black. Something for black. You ain't 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 black. I want black.
I tell you what, if I had to tell them any one of these people, I'd be
Black.
I'd be black. Good morning. Man, it feel like I slept for 2 days. Ooh, body fighting off this virus. I went to a wellness center and got me some IV, got me some good injections, helped me fight off this cold and this virus. And I think it's doing a great job. I ain't never slept so long in my life. I think I went to bed at like 7:30, 6 o'clock. It's crazy, B. That's crazy, B. I was asleep all day. I feel good, too. I feel rejuvenated. Feel good when you figure out what's going on with you and you start helping to fight that thing off. Said rest is key. I never usually get no sleep. 3-4 hours, I wake up. I be up looking like a zombie, but I'm sleeping. I slept throughout the whole night. I feel great. I feel great. I can't complain. I took vitamin D. I'm vitamin D deficient. So I took a vitamin D shot. That changed the game. I feel way better. I'm gonna have to start going like once a week or once every 2 weeks. Just get me a vitamin D shot. I got B12. Well, we put magnesium in there. That magnesium got me feeling amazing. Yeah, man. You got that. You got that Michael Jackson sleep. KB, you seen the video from Gucci robbery? No, man, I'm gonna try to go over all that. I was knocked out. I ain't seen nothing, but we finna get on it. I seen Paul Pierce and Byron Scott talk about LeBron. I seen I've seen Brandon Jennings had to moderate. I seen Gilbert Arenas also uh, come out and explain what he got going on. So let's go over that. Let's go over a lot of stuff, man. I feel like I'm rejuvenated, and I want to get to the hot topics of what's going on. We're going to talk about some of these trades. We're going to talk about that Gucci Man robbery. We're going to talk about it all. But let's talk about this first because Brandon Jennings had to moderate. And I think Josiah left underdog. And I think he's going with Gilbert Arenas. And July 1st was the first day that, yesterday was the first day that Gilbert could have signed. So let's see what's going on.
I'll send you a dap. Come over that way. Appreciate you as well.
Thank
you. Shout out to our tremendously talented crew. Shout out to everybody in the chat. This has been another episode of Gil's Arena presented by Underdog. And if I don't see you again on this couch, a good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Hey, Kobe.
Gotcha. Before I let you get on out of here, Gilbert, talk to me about, Gil's Arenas. What's going on, my man? Season.
Now, I don't know what the hell going on with Gil, but let me put an overlay up because I don't want them to say prolonged attack because they tried to get me. I don't know what happened to Gil, but I just, damn, boy, you drying up, boy. Yo, lay off that Ozempic, bro. You got to lay off that fucking Ozempic. Whatever you own, whatever that is that's sucking your cheeks in like that, making your eyes look that big, get off that shit, bro. Go get a shot of B12, some energy shit, man. Come on, man. Get you some magnesium, get you some hydration, shot of NAD, maybe. But damn, boy, look like your eyes bulging out your motherfucking head. But let's go. Let's go. Let me take it down. I got nothing else to say.
5, my brother, talk to me. Let the audience know what's up.
Listen, I had to make a business decision, and I was looking at the landscape. We were doing 4 days a week, thinking we're about to turn to 5, and then another show got added, which was Gridiron Football Show with Skip, Akeem, and them, and we got bumped to 2 days. When you're trying to make progress, that's like winning a championship, and then all the starters get put to the bench, and you're only playing 21 minutes. Right? It didn't make sense to me. And it's like, if we want to build and build, we can't play under, another show on.
Wait a minute. It's like what? It's like the starters going to the bench and only getting 21 minutes. Say again. Hold on. I got to hear this again.
I had to make a
Season 5, my brother, talk to me. Let the audience know what's up.
I had to make a business decision. And I was looking at the landscape. We were doing 4 days a week, thinking we're about to turn to 5, and then another show got added, which was Gridiron Football Show with Skip, Akeem, and them, and we got bumped to 2 days. When you're trying to make progress, that's like winning a championship, and then all the starters get put to the bench, and you're only playing 21 minutes. Right? It didn't make sense to me. And it's like, if we want to build.
There you go again, sounding like an employee. Now, see, when I hear him talk like this, after coming up on my panel being so disrespectful, calling himself a boss, saying I own 100% of nothing, and doing all this don't sound like he ever owned anything. How can you say it's like the starters going to the bench and it didn't make sense to you? What don't make sense to me is why you didn't do what MJ did in Washington. Couldn't nobody send him to the fucking bench. He was a player by title, but we all knew he was still part owner. So you being the part owner, how can somebody else just force you to spend less time playing? Like, I don't get it. You're not just like Brandon Jennings, supposedly. You're not just like Kenyon Martin. You're not just like the rest of the crew. You are a guy who's a part of the crew, but you created this shit. Can't nobody tell you what to do with your creation. Like nobody can tell me what to do with my creation. I'm sorry. When you own something, I thought the whole purpose of owning it is so that you can you have creative control. Nobody can take over what you want to do. So if Gilbert was an actual owner, he wouldn't be sounding like this. He wouldn't be saying, "Oh, well, we just got pushed to 2 days, and it was like you put the starters on the bench, and it don't make sense." Like, no, you'd be like, "No, the show was doing great. The football show was doing great, but we had just come off having the #1 show, so we're not going to take less days." And we had a rift between that, and so we couldn't see eye to eye, and so I decided to get my name back and part ways from them. That's a disagreement, like a boss. You're saying that they just told you what to do. They just forced you to have less days. I can see if y'all disagreed on it and you took your thoughts and ideals to the door and said, "Fuck that. Then we ain't doing it." And I'm leaving with my show. That's not what happened. That's not what it sounds like. It sounds like Underdog was able to do whatever the hell they wanted to do, and then they told you to kick rocks.
Put to the bench, and you only playing 21 minutes, winning a championship, and then all the starters get put to the bench, and you only playing 21 minutes, right? It didn't make sense to me, and it's like if we want to build and build, we can't play under another show on the same channel. So I had to make a business decision, and moving.
And what was that business? And to enlighten everybody, what is that business decision that you had to make?
Moving in a different direction and starting. Well, anyway, let me see. In about 6 days, I will.
Boy, him and LeBron lying like a motherfucker. Yeah, the Lakers. Yeah, we ain't answering your call. They wasn't calling you. Here's that great word that Jaylen Brown brought to the internet. I didn't go to college, so we need brothers like that go to college so we can say the direct term for it: social engineering. I was calling them script reading bees, so that kind of turned people off. I told them they don't have original thought. Nothing like that. But the proper term for it is social engineering. These guys it's all fake. It's all made up. He did not make a decision to do nothing. Underdog had already made their decision. He brought the talent. He selected the talent. He put together a dream team. In order for you guys to believe what Gilbert Arenas is saying, you'd have to be an absolute moron. And I'm sorry if one of you believe him, because most of you are smarter than me. But on this situation, you're using your like for Mr. Arenas to jade your opinion or jade your thoughts, because you got to be an absolute moron or a fanboy to listen to this malarkey. I'm going to invent something, create something, put together the staff, put together the team, write everyone's contract for longer terms than mine. And I'm not only going to write everybody's contracts for a longer term than mine, I'm going to have Underdog to where they can make all the decisions on everything, and I can just complain about it like a little baby and say it don't make sense to me, instead of saying, no, that's what you guys think, but we're not doing that because I'm the one who put together the show. We're going to continue our #1 streak. Now, if you want to do this gridiron shit after the contract is up, then you could do it. That's what people who run a show sound like. Not no motherfucker who sit up here and talk about, well, it didn't make sense to me. And, they just wanted to run this other show. And so, yeah, we just had to go another direction. Like, what? What? This don't make no sense. But hey, y'all don't believe anything. Some people will believe anything because, again, it's all about who we like. You're going to write yourself into a deal that's going to be shorter than all the people that you brought to the table, that you signed. Okay. Makes sense.
I will 100% own Gil's Arenas name.
Same cast of characters or different crew?
Well, the other characters are still under contract until September. So we're starting up in August. So unless they just.
The other cast of characters is under contract until September. Now, Mr. Arenas said nobody can use his staff. Mr. Arenas said no one can use his staff. He said, what are they going to do? They can't do nothing without me. It's my staff. It's my crew. They would have to get a whole nother crew. This is what he said on my channel. That those were his talent. He said he was Skip Bayless's boss. Don't look like he's Skip Bayless' boss now.
Flat out quit. I can't talk to him and I can't recruit him. I can't poach. So, you know, I got to look for a different cast of.
Man, hold up, man. Yo, I'm gonna have to find that video on my page. The man said that now he's saying that he can't poach. How you poaching off something that you created? Holy shit. He said, I can't poach. Poach? That's your crew. You said that nobody can fuck with your crew. This is literally what you said, Gil. Nobody can work with your crew. What is Underdog gonna do? Your exact words. What is Underdog gonna do? They can't use my crew. They can't do this. They can't do that. Did you not? Let me see if I can find this shit, man. How many years ago was this? How long ago was this? Let me go find it when you and Anton came on my damn panel and you were talking so silly. Let me see. It's about 8 months ago. Let's see. They can't use your staff. Remember, Gil, they can't use your staff. Let's see. Let's see. This is part one. Mm. Hold on, let me finish playing this first. Hold on, y'all.
Of guys.
Okay. Well, we here for it, my man.
That answers a question that I had why Gil's Arena on Underdog was still using that name, but also, you know, Gil had changed his Agent Zero No Chill Gil channel to Gil's Arena. That explains it. You know, he was transitioning, but also they still owned it for that current amount of time, you know, and they were going to use every day that they still had it to use Gil's Arena to bring in the fans. But with Josiah's departure, it left a void about who was going to moderate the show. And Brandon Jennings, he posted on Twitter that he has a newfound respect for people who can moderate a show, basically. And we're going to get a look at that.
Welcome back to Gil's Arena presented by Underdog. I'm Brandon Jennings, and I'll be your host this evening. We got one of the biggest legends in sports media game. Sitting next to me, Skip Bayless is in the building. Sitting next to him joining him is NBA World Champ of the World.
From Underdog to put someone who they have under contract right into the moderator position. And with those guys' contracts coming up in September, when I look at that, I say,
Golly, man, Gil, everything you said about this situation was a flat out lie. Brandon Jennings moved, they worked and segued and moved right over to Brandon Jennings after Gilbert Arenas said that could not happen. I'm gonna find that part of the video. Hold on. This is me and Gilbert talking about this shit way back when, 8 months ago. And as you can see, Gilbert Arenas' whole face looked different 8 months ago. It looks different now. But Underdog had a trick for his ass. God dang, Underdog don't fuck around, boy. Boy, I got a newfound respect on how Underdog and these guys do business, boy. Damn, nigga, that was cutthroat. You talking about some shrewd businessman type of shit? Boy, Underdog, keep it gangster, dog. Keep it gangster. They went into a man's house, watched how he did it, gave him coffee, served him, brought all the staff in there. He paid for it based on his numbers. Got his whole crew and took them walking his trap, took over his trap. Brought a white man in there and Skip revived his whole career. Now they just dip with a whole concept, whole show, whole staff. They just dip. Leaving Gilbert to fan his ass out there in the street, pause, to try to get another Woe Daddy to take care of him. Oh man, they did you like Travis Kelce did that goddamn fine ass black beautiful woman that he did like that. Boy, he dropped her like a bad habit. Boom. She's still fine. She's still dangling it out there, but she looking for another Woe Daddy to take care of her. Same way you doing. Damn. Underdog, some pimps. This is why they do. This is what they did to the Negro Leagues. This nigga Cortez crazy. Nigga, they pimped this nigga. He trying to save face. Gil trying to go over there with Stephen A. Smith and all that shit, try to save face. You know, Stephen A., I helped you with Kwame. Bring me on your show so I could talk some bullshit. Yeah, you know, it's like being in the NBA finals, coming off winning the championship, and they send you to the bench. Why would anybody do that? That doesn't even make no sense. It don't even make sense. This shit is easy to see that them people walked in his trap, took over his trap, bro. This is the biggest robbery I ever seen. The man was talking so big. They can't use nothing I got going on. They can't use none of my staff. Kwame, what are you talking about? You stupid. You ain't listening, dummy. You ain't listening to nothing I'm saying because you dumb. This is how he talking to me. Who's the dummy now? Hey, who's the dummy now? 100% of nothing. Now he bragging about owning his name back. Nigga, that's 100% of nothing. Ain't that grand how God work, boy? Ain't that grand how God work? The same thing you mean for somebody else, the same way you talk disrespectful to somebody else, that shit'll come beat you home, baby. You ain't had to talk to me like that, boy. I own 100% of nothing. Shit me. You own 100% of nothing right now. You waiting on a Woe Daddy. You out there, look at what I used to do. I'll get some more people for you, boss. And now them people know you green, you game goofy. So now you got a bunch of predatory motherfucking 360 deal business partners out there waiting on a stupid motherfucker like you. Yeah, they know you game goofy. They know you ready to give up everything. This time you ain't even gonna own your name this time. They ain't gonna take it for a certain period of time. They gonna take it the whole time. Cortez say now he owns 0% or something. Shit. It was just a concept, Kwame. It meant nothing. It was a concept. It don't seem like just a concept now. Underdog got that shit rocking. Hey, look, everybody, they got all the media pundits and all the buddy channels talking about, hey, look, without Gilbert Arenas, it's going to go awry. I mean, look at how Kenyon and McCants are fighting. Gil used to stand in the balance. You lying like a motherfucker. Gil would sit there and be quiet to the motherfucker. Kenyon been doing the same thing this whole time. That make the whole show. Whatever Rashard McCants is doing to tick people off, and then Kenyon about to choke them, and then goddamn Swaggy nut up. That's what make the show. That's why people watching. Skip got back hot. Thanks, Gil. Yeah, nigga, Skip was getting no views on his channel. Skip was getting 2,000 views on his own YouTube. Gil come out, yeah. Skip worked for me. I'm Skip Boss. All that goddamn boss talk. I'm Skip Boss. Next thing you know, Skip done kicked his ass out the basement. Put your robe back on. Go upstairs. We don't need you down here. That's how Skip was talking to Gil. Put a diaper on. They made that nigga dress up like a baby. I take my 100% of nothing, nigga. They made you dress up like a baby. You had a pamper on. You'll do anything to be number one, won't you? They made this nigga wear a pamper. That's why people don't like me around, because it's certain shit that you just shouldn't do around me, you know? And I'm just going to be like, I'm going to make you feel goofy and stupid as fuck if you do it around me. I'm not going to be quiet. I'm going to look at you like, what the fuck? The hell is wrong with you, boy? You could have let me walk out before you did this stupid shit. Yeah, I'm going to let you know. They don't like people that let them know. They want people around that just going to, you know, let them do whatever the hell they want to do. They want them Terry Crews type of niggas, big as hell, aggressive looking, but you can rub on their penis and walk off. Paul. Shit, no. You ain't rubbing on my shit and walking off. You got one in the air too? Yep. That junkie got Gil smoking rocks. That junkie got Gil smoking rocks. Come on, dog. He ain't doing that, man. I know it ain't got that bad. He did look different in this video. Yeah, I gotta pause that, but that's what happened to Terry Crews, bro. How many of y'all people in real life, though? It ain't many men in real life. That's not even a thought. I know what you niggas gonna do. If somebody come up and play with you like that, you ain't gonna be thinking about no contract. You're not gonna be thinking about no if I got a job. You're not. That's not even gonna be an afterthought if somebody play with you like that in real life. I don't want to never make as much money that make me think about what I'm gonna do for my manhood. I don't know, hell no. I don't want that kind of money. I don't want no money that's gonna make me pause. I want to still be broke enough to get to extreme violence. Yeah, I want to stay broke enough to get to extreme violence. Fuck is you talk about? You did what? Even Beyonce will kick a motherfucker face off. They play with her like that. Brother KB, was Gil always this stupid? Salute. Unfortunately, yes. Everything I've seen about this guy is all about attention. It was all about saying the dumbest shit. Just he don't even believe in the stuff he's saying. He'll just say things. He's very creative to say things to just grab attention. Because in his mind, and a lot of people go by this, all attention is good attention. And so he'll just say the most outlandish shit just to grab the attention. He'll do the most juvenile shit just to get some attention. And I just thought that shit was lame. And he'll do certain things in front of females to who he say his homeboys are, just so he can always look like the biggest guy in the room. I just thought that was a lot of insecurities built up in him. Why you got to make your mans and them look weak in order for you to look big? Friday the 13th, a hood holiday. I got to find a part in this I got to find a part in this thing, man. He pretty much said they could never use his staff.
You still ain't doing it. It's a concept. I gave you a concept, right? Of the roast league. You rejected it. You laughed at it. We filmed it. It didn't look like what it needed to be look like. I did the poker game. Didn't like it. I created a basketball show out of the same original concept I gave you. Now again, the page that Gil's Arena, the show is on today, was the page I stopped using in 2018. I was no longer using that page. So when you was asking me what page, I said it could be on your page or we can start a new page. Because that page wasn't, you're just trying to steal my followers. You're just trying to steal my followers. You don't remember none of that, Kwame?
So I think you're trying to defend this lie so much that you won't answer. Why did you give up 50% of Gil's Arena?
So let me ask you something.
Ownership. Why didn't you keep the ownership?
What? Can I ask you, if I'm using the page Gil's Arena's on, what was the original name of it then, Kwame? I'm beefing with you. I'm beefing with you, right? What page am I using to beef with you? If I have my own channel.
Listen, at one point, did you own 100% of that channel? No Chill.
100% of the original, so we can get it clear, so I can explain it to you. It was my original. Yes, it was my original channel. No Chill Gil. I stopped using that channel in 2018 because I went to linear TV with Fubo. So from 2018 to 2022, I never posted anything on that channel. It was done. So when I came to YouTube to talk to you, when I went on Tommy's page, I wasn't using no YouTube channel. That's why I had to create the channel I'm on now. So I sold 50% of that channel to create the show that ended up being Gil's Arena.
He said Gil already made money. What he gonna do? Sell his soul again? What are we really talking about? You mad at him? It sound like. No, I'm not mad at him. He just put up new information. I just went over the new information that he put out on Stephen A. Smith, and I just don't believe what he said. So we're going over it. You're talking about Terry Crews, huh? You know that ain't that what Gil nigga what? Huh? I don't understand what the hell you talking about. C Slim Block TG. You look like you too real to be on this channel. I mean, you got your Pooh Shiesty on. It look like you supposed to be on the drill. Why is you over here? A nigga that's creepy looking like you only showing his eyes and shit. You seem like you need to go. You supposed to be in the streets. You need to be in the streets, bro. Get out of it. Nigga, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, nigga. You can't be that gay. It's 5:49 and this nigga gangster in a chat. Come on, dog. You got to have 2 different emojis. You got to have one for when you in chats early like this, because the real gangsters sleep right now. Ain't no goddamn real gangsters up right now, goddamn. So the real gangsters just going in. It's like the police shift. Them niggas just going in. They just finished goddamn hitting the girl from the back, and they going to sleep. Your ass is up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Nigga, you got a job. You over here goddamn working construction, sitting up here trying to act like you goddamn Pooh Shiesty. Now, come on now. Stop the bullshit now. See, there's too many of you goddamn Pooh Shiesty wannabes. This nigga going to construction trying to be Pooh Shiesty. This nigga probably a barber. Got his first client at goddamn 6:30, knowing he finna goddamn shave a nigga beard and goddamn arc his eyebrow. But this nigga acting like he Pooh Shiesty. Come on, dog. Y'all got to stop this shit, man. Just be a regular person. Just be a regular person. Shit crazy. Just be a regular person, bro.
Hey, listen. So wait, hold on. So wait. You own 50% of Gil's Arena. So if Skip is shooting in the basement, you can't go downstairs?
I can go down anywhere I want.
So why Skip is, do they say quiet on the set?
Because I own 50%. I own 50% of that show too.
I'm saying, so can you go downstairs while they shoot?
I can go down anywhere I want.
I want to meet Skip. Take us downstairs to Skip right now.
It's not. I can take it down there Monday. It's Sunday, sir.
All right.
What's so funny is if
no. What's real funny is you owned 100% of Gil's Arena, and you won't tell us why you got rid of it. You won't. Tell us why.
See, that's the problem. There was no Gil's Arena. Just like there was.
Kwame, don't be so rude. He lives in Australia. This afternoon, he's a kangaroo thug. Oh, if I was being rude, I apologize, brother. I don't want no smoke, man. Hey, shit, you already got your Pooh Shiesty on. Don't do no drill. I just smoke one, bro. I like to joke when I'm smoking, man. So don't get the scrap, bro. It's a joke. You know what I mean? Hopefully you can take a joke. You know what I'm saying? It's just the green, bro. Hey, listen, we cool, right? Who is Pooh Shiesty? Who is that broke boy saying I'm buying homes in Australia? Listen, man, just don't get mad, man. I don't want no smoke with niggas just showing their eyes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Kangaroo thug. I don't want no problem. I just smoke a little, you know what I'm saying? A little green, have a little fun, all right? You niggas that too serious? We don't want no smoke.
No beef, just like there was no beef channel.
Do you want to hear Anton Daniels? Listen, do you want to hear Anton Daniels react to your?
Just like there was no beef concept. Remember, it was just a concept. The channel was irrelevant because I wasn't using it anyway. I gave them the platform instead of going to Showtime. That's why when you say, oh, we trying to go to Showtime. I didn't go to Showtime channel. I gave it to that channel. So I created this channel. So this is my independent channel. That channel that I sold them wasn't using it. And I gave 50% to see if I can get a show.
Okay, and so on lowlights, you said you wanted to build the infrastructure.
Yes.
So did you not feel capable that you made over $160 million in the league? You didn't have the money to build the infrastructure yourself?
No, I didn't have the concept of building the infrastructure. I didn't know how to build a show.
What do you mean? You got all the context. You know everybody. You came to YouTube saying.
Now, who didn't know how to build a show was Underdog. Gilbert actually built the show. He built that show. He actually built Gil's Arena. So he takes credit for building the #1 show on one end. And then on the next end, he'll say he didn't know how to build a show. You actually did build that show. They copied everything that you did, bro. They copied every single thing that you did. They got your whole staff. What did they do that's different than you? Man, I got to find that part to where he say that they can't use his staff. Was Anton Daniels on the panel when they said that? I think Anton Daniels was on the panel. I got that one for the next one.
And you know LeBron, you know this person, LeBron has a show. Why not just reach out to some of LeBron's friends and his people and build the studio in your basement and then hire the same staff? You got people in LA, UCLA. Why not hire some people that know how to do it and help you build the show out? Why would you sell 50% of it? What they're doing is not worth 50%.
Hey, Kwame, I'm confused. If you watch me personally come on here on YouTube in 2022.
So you're not gonna answer the question?
No. 2022, right? Meaning I don't know what flagging means. I don't know what any of that actually means. While I'm beefing with you, you remember? Did I come in here? Did I come on the internet beefing with you with this massive production thing? Meaning I don't know any of it. Me studying you the whole time, watching
why was you studying a dumb bus?
Because this is the only thing I know. What else do I?
That's the only thing I know. Why would you study? I came on here studying you. That's the only thing I know. Damn. This shit don't go away, people.
Why was you studying a dumb bus?
You with this massive production thing. Meaning I don't know any of it. Me studying you.
Me studying you. This shit don't go away, man. All this, Kwame, you obsessed with Gil. Kwame, when you study somebody, when I used to study, boy, I would research, I would read, I would write down, I would take notes. This nigga was studying me. He was doing research when he chasing behind girls that I done had sex with. And he got to go have sex with them too. He was studying me. He was doing research. This shit is pathetic. This shit is pathetic. How these niggas hear this man saying what he's saying, but they'll still say, Kwame, you obsessed with Gil. Yeah. Okay, then. Let's hear this.
This massive production thing. Meaning I don't know any of it. Me studying you the whole time, watching
why was you studying a dumb bus?
So logical. Why was you studying the dumb bus? Because you can't have it both ways. 1 minute he'll get up there and say, you're dumb, you're stupid, you own 100% of nothing. You're an idiot. You're a fool, Kwame. You're stupid, you're slow. I hate you, you're rusty, you're raggedy, you're ugly, you stink. And then he'll say, I'm studying you. Why would you study a person that you got all this negative stuff to say about? It just don't make sense. And when you hear people speak about me, but then you got to hear the undertone. It's like, why are you even interested in this nigga if he's all these things you saying? Huh? You can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways. He went to go get 5 different people that have similar characteristics of one person's personality. He had to go get 5 people to make up for one. Damn, Gil. And you told it all.
So that's the only thing I know. What else do I know?
So
It's the only thing I know. What else do I know? Ooh, boy. I need to get that on a beat. It's the only thing I know. What else do I know? Get it, Gil. Get it.
But why was you studying a dumb bus?
Because that's the only thing I know. What else do I know?
So you
Man, I need to get that to a beat, man. I gotta get one of my boys to put that to a beat. Why was you studying a dumb bus and just drop the beat? It's the only thing I know. That's all I know. Yeah, boy, we gotta get you, Gil.
studied me. What did you learn?
What not to do. That was one.
And here come the insult. There you go. Here come the insults.
So Gil, I had 70,000 people in the chat with an iPhone 8.
3, how to understand using
Hold on, you
music.
gotta back up. You're going in and out, walking around. You're gonna have to back up because you're going in and out.
Oh, I said understanding how to what, like
No, but
music.
listen. I
copyright.
had 70,000 people in my chat by myself.
Okay.
And I don't flag nobody. So you was watching me because you needed to learn from me, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm a bad. I'm glad. So let me ask
but
you
I said-
again. Let me
but I
ask you
said that
again.
back-
Why
I said-
couldn't
I
you- why
said that
couldn't you
back-
build the infrastructure yourself?
Because I didn't know anything about YouTube, Kwame. What did I know about YouTube?
So you could have did a little research, bro. There ain't nothing wrong with a little research.
Little research in 2022 when I just came to YouTube.
So listen, while you were studying me, you could, because I just learned YouTube. You shouldn't have been studying me. You should have went to a YouTuber. They give tutorials all the time.
Now look how humble I am. I'm like, bro, how the fuck I knew about YouTube? I just came on YouTube and just went crazy. I was saying all kind of stuff, So you studying somebody that didn't know YouTube either. So it's kind of crazy that you was doing that. I don't think you was studying it to learn YouTube. I think you was studying it to learn game and learn swag. Because we know you, Gil. I told everybody you just like to do it off Italian job. Once you see somebody doing something, you want to mimic everything that they're doing. So, it is what it is. There's a lot of people out there like you like that. But you with me, you can't take away from me while you biting off of me. You can't do that. You know what I mean? You can't do stuff like that. You talk about copy and paste swag. It's a lot of niggas like that. But, it's all good. I'm a humble guy. I appreciate it. But don't start dissing me when you know what you're doing.
A YouTuber to build a ESPN show, I got to go to a YouTuber.
So why not go to LeBron and his people?
When did they start a show? When did they start a show, Kwame?
Let me go to this other script. I think we got to get to the other. I think we got to get to the other one. Anton was on there because I want to get to this dude saying all the shit he was saying.
It's Tribune. They have infrastructure. So I didn't have nothing. I just had a concept and then this channel where I had like 1,000 people on it. So I made the deal with them instead of going with a platform. So instead of going with a platform and you're paying me $2,000 an episode, I made a deal with the sponsor themselves because I would have been on Showtime and then Showtime would have had Underdog as the sponsor. So I cut the middleman out and said,
Can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
Can I stop you in between just to ask you a couple questions?
Yes.
All right. So because I went just purely based off of what you were explaining on your live stream, right?
Mhm.
When you say you needed the infrastructure, was the show already?
This Kwame only talk about Gil, Bron, and Stephen A. Smith. Oh man, that's so easy to prove wrong. Oh my goodness, boy, are you slow? Oh my God, man, I love you guys that come in here with these lies because y'all feelings get hurt. But watch this though. Watch this though. Let me show you what I can do. I can do shit you can't believe. I can do shit you can't believe, boy. You understand me? Like this right here. Let me stop this. Now let me share this screen with you. Because first of all, I could talk about what the hell I want. But let me share this screen with you. So we talked about LeBron the past couple of days, right there, right? LeBron and Lakers, we chopped these videos up. But let's look at what I normally talk about. Politics. Chud the Builder. Politics. Pooh Shiesty. We talking about some killers. We talking about Kwame Brown is live. We talking politics. We talking Carmelo Anthony case. We talking Trump. Where's the LeBron and Gilbert talk? Excuse me? Excuse me, punk? Yeah, man. Thank you for allowing me to showcase my channel and the politics and the things that we talking about over here, because we are multifaceted over here. We don't just come up with LeBron and Kobe beef just to keep the algorithm going. All right, so let's get back to it.
He pitched, because some people are saying that the show was pitched to Showtime or something like that, and then you just cut out the middleman.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. So that part, all right. So I got clarification on that. And then the other part, the other question that I have is, did you think that the show would be as big as it's going to be? And that's one of the reasons why you gave up equity into it.
No, I didn't know anything. I didn't know if it was going to be big or not.
Okay, I got you.
So,
Well,
you know,
I mean,
what I mean?
that adds, that changes it a little bit for me. Because I almost think that if you would have known, and you can correct me, if you would have known what it was going to do, then you wouldn't have gave up the equity into it.
Yeah, but it was, the reason I gave up equity is because
Man, I had to get off camera because I'm laughing so hard. The way Anton disarmed this idiot by just playing nice with him and acting like he really believed that shit he did was a smart thing to do, even though he said he wouldn't do it. So he disarmed this guy so quick and easy by complimenting him, and then he moved right along. That Ed Gill didn't even get it.
I used to do this in the weed. Okay, so I started in the weed game, right? I was the landlord. What I would do is I will have one of these growers come in.
Wow.
Right? They build the infrastructure, they build the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
They build these elaborate systems. I let them get 2 crops in, and then I kick them out. Now I have the infrastructure, and then I take over the business. That was the same.
Did y'all hear what Gilbert just said? So you can't feel sorry for him. Underdog just did him the exact same way. Pay attention. Let me slow this down. Listen to what he said he did with the people on his weed farm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They build these elaborate systems, the infrastructure. One of these growers come in.
Wow.
Right? Do is I will have one of these growers come in.
Wow.
Right? They build the infrastructure, they build the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
They build these elaborate systems. I let them get 2 crops in, and then I kick them out. Now I have the infrastructure, and then I take over the business.
Wow. That is exactly what Underdog just did to you. You had this elaborate system that you built in your basement. Hell, you told them how to build it, and they just put the money up. They built this elaborate system, and then they kicked you out, and they built their own right next to yours, and they took your whole crew. He sound like a colonizer. He is. He learned from them. They just did him the same way. That is exactly what Underdog just did to him. They watched him build the infrastructure. They studied for 4 years. They were able to bring different cast members on. They switched and rotated certain women on and off. They set different men on different days with each other to see what cast got the most ratings. And they realized it wasn't much difference if Gil was on or off. And with the amount of money that he wanted, yeah, you're out. And that's what happened. He said, cold world. They did him the same way that he just participated with those growers. So it is what it is.
That was the same concept here. Let them come in here, build the studio, build all the equipment, do everything that's here. We got 2 years. Once it's over with, I got the infrastructure. Now I can set up shop a professional style. At first,
and he's telling these people this 8 months ago. 8 months ago, he's online basically saying that, yeah, when it's over with, I'm good with Underdog. They just built me infrastructure. I'm straight. How the fuck does that help with your negotiations, dummy? Then they offered him some money that he turned down, but he goes up here 8 months ago and tell every piece of his own personal business. If that's how Gil moves, I can never do business with him. Hello. I'm telling you, man, this shit is crazy. 8 months ago, Underdog can hear you basically saying, no, now that I got the infrastructure, I didn't know how to build the infrastructure, but I got it now. And now I could just, continue doing my own thing without them. They like, oh, really? Oh, okay. All right. That's what you're doing? Okay, then. Well, we gonna goddamn build our own show, take your whole crew, and let them know that, hey, the one advantage that Underdog has is that they have a proven track record of paying people. Gil ain't paid nobody yet. See, those guys can leave because Gil, they friend all they want to. Underdog been paying these men and women for a couple years now. They got a proven track record of paying. I'm just saying, who you listening to? The guy who talking or the guy who paying you?
I didn't know how to do any of that. And all I knew is most people just had a camera. They walked around with the camera. They set it up tripod style, and then they just do that. I didn't want that. I didn't want that style. I wanted what Matt Barnes. I wanted that look, the Pat McAfee look.
He don't never want the Gilbert Arenas. He always want a look of somebody else. Now he want the Matt Barnes and the Pat McAfee. God, dog, man. Italian job. You just walk around looking at men and just biting off every motherfucking thing they do. Let's hear him again, fellas. He want the Matt Barnes. He want the Pat McAfee.
Up tripod style, and then they just do that. I didn't want that. I didn't want that style. I wanted what Matt Barnes. I wanted that look, the Pat McAfee look. So the only way to do that was to convince the sponsor. And I said, hey, listen, instead of you paying me, and then I shout out your Underdog and we do all this, we can be 50-50 partners. So you have skin in this game to build the show the way it is. You can use this as a commercial, meaning you got shorts, you can put your logo on it, you can put it in the algorithm, you can put it on my Instagram page, you can do this. So you are doing better because now you have full control of your product. Right? So because you have full control of your product, that's how you're going to make your money. You get to push the FTDs, you get to do all of that in-house, and you don't need just to pay someone these like a camera and stuff like that. You don't have to pay them, and then they do it, and you don't like the product. You can fully control it.
Did you lose control though?
What do you mean?
Because you don't.
That nigga said, what you mean? On every interview, it don't sound like you run nothing, and people can hear you. But then when somebody asks you, at what point did you lose control? What you mean? You didn't know when someone was hired, when someone was fired. You said it on camera. Oh, such got let go. I ain't know either. It seemed like you had no control over how many days. Like it's just a lot with this whole story, Gil. I never said he wasn't winning. I never said he didn't make money. It's not winning when you're still looking for a job. That to me is not winning. But I mean, it's to each their own.
Based off of what you were saying, you don't get to determine how the show goes. You know what I'm saying? Because okay, the partnership, I get. You didn't really understand exactly how big the platform was going to get. I think you undersold yourself because you didn't realize how great you was as a content creator. Honestly, And I've given you props. I've always celebrated you and said that I think that you are incredible and that you got the #1 basketball show in the whole 9 yards. But at what point in this infrastructure deal did you give up the control to where you can't determine, hey, no, I'm executive producing this. I'm controlling my own IP. I determine how many times we stream. I determine what how we want to add a football show. At what point did that part come in is what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. So I had 50% of both shows. So basically, any show I produce under No Chill Productions. So No Chill Production is what's 50-50. They don't have rights to Gilbert Arena. So this channel, anything I do with my name and likeness outside of No Chill Productions, I own 100%. So I'm not exclusive to doing deals, right, with other people. So I never really had control. I didn't want control of thumbnails and all that because I didn't really know about it. I didn't really care. I didn't want people. So I never really had control. I didn't want control of. I never really had control. I didn't want control. And then he tries to say he never really had control over thumbnails and all that. You don't have to do the thumbnails, but you definitely have control. Like, what are you talking about? This shit don't make no sense, but hey. Thumbnails and all that because I didn't really know about it. I didn't really care. Just you do what you need to do. I'll learn on the way when my contract is up, which is up in 10 months from now. I own all the equipment.
You get to keep everything.
So basically my deal is actually this. I own all the equipment. Now, when it comes to the show itself, remember, it's a concept.
Right.
It's not real. 50% is real. The arena is real. Hey, the arena is real. Them people got real contracts. They making real money, and they still on YouTube right now on Underdog Fantasy. And it's real. So I don't know what you're talking about. Concept. 50% is real if we sell it. Now, if I walk away, what do they have? They can't use Gil's Arena name. They can't use Gil's Arena crew. That's part of my deal. They can't use Skip Bayless and the crew. That's part of my deal. So that means they will have to start brand new with a whole different cast and everything. Meaning they will have to go somewhere else, get all new equipment, and get all new staff and talent to start up basketball. What? Gil, you said they would have to go get a whole new staff, whole new talent, a whole new this, right? And it don't look like Underdog had to do none of that shit you talking about. It looked like Underdog got your whole motherfucking staff, got your whole goddamn crew, and they even took Swaggy P from you. Hey, boy, you was lying, man. I told you about all this goddamn lying, boy. All you do is lie. Lie-ola. Now let's get you back up here on Skip Bayless real quick. I mean Stephen A. Smith. Let's get you back up here on Stephen A. Let me get you back up here on what you said on Stephen A. Then I'll bring that one back up. Cause see, you like to lie so much to these people, and they get all caught up in the lies and the bullshit that you say, instead of, what it really is, what you really saying. So let's get you back up here on Stephen A. Smith show, where you pretty much told the truth over here that, yeah, them boys under contract right now. They've been using your staff throughout the playoffs. They're using your staff now. Your staff is still under contract to September while you not on the staff. And you was talking so tough like this just your crew. What's up, Shotty Yachty? You were talking so tough like this was just your crew. This was your staff and you just the shit. Can't nobody move without you. Can't nothing move without you. That's how you were talking. Now you all humble pie talking about, I don't know. Maybe the staff is going to quit.
maybe this ain't how you was talking. This all I'm doing. I'm just pointing out that the way you were talking earlier is not the way you talking now.
You know, Gil's Arenas. What's going on, my man? Season 5, my brother. Talk to me. Let the audience know what's up. What's up?
Listen, I had to make a business decision, and I was looking at the landscape. We were doing 4 days a week, thinking we're about to turn to 5, and then another show got added, which was Gridiron Football Show with Skip, Akeem and them, and we got bumped to 2 days.
This man said, thinking that it was going to turn into 5. Why did you, as the owner, had to think it was turning into 5? Why couldn't you just turn it into 5? He's 50% owner. He should have said, based on us being number 1, and based on what I'm seeing projected numbers, we going up to 5. But instead of that happening, he got bumped down. He got bumped down to 2 days, which he doesn't want to say. He talking about we got bumped to 2 days. No, that's a loss. You got bumped down, son. You got bumped down from 4 days to 2 days after being number 1. None of that made sense. So then when me and Sino came up on the platform and asked him, bro, how does it make sense for you to be the number 1 show and to lose 2 days? Nigga, they about to get rid of you, fool. We trying to tell him what's going on. But what was he doing? Y'all don't know nothing. Y'all stupid. He was some type of certified genius. Making up jokes and oak downstairs instead of listening. And now he back out there on the block. He like an IG model that Rick Ross done dropped. They back out on the block looking for another woe daddy to take care of. And that's what he out there doing. He looking for somebody to come and take care of him, Oh. He looking for somebody to come take care of him, man. And now he got to put together a whole nother staff. He got to put together a whole nother staff. Trust me, he got to put together a whole nother staff and and do it all over again when he just did it already. And now he wants to get credit for owning his name back that he owned already. Nigga, I'm not giving you no credit for owning shit you already own. So let's hear how he's talking now with Stephen A.
When you're trying to make progress, that's like, winning a championship, and then, all the starters get put to the bench and you only playing 21 minutes, right? It didn't make sense to me. And it's like, if we want to build and build, we can't play under, another show on the same channel. So, I had to make a business decision and, move in a different
And what was that
direction.
business? And to enlighten everybody, what is that business decision that you had to make?
Moving in a different direction and starting. Anyway, let me see. In about 6 days, I will 100% own Gil's Arena's name.
Same cast of characters or different crew?
Well, the other characters are still under contract until September. So we're starting up in August. So unless they just flat out quit, I can't talk to them and I can't recruit them. I can't poach. So, I got to look for a different cast of guys.
Okay. Well, we here for it, my man.
That answers a question that I had while Gil.
He gotta look for a different cast of guys. Interesting. Kwame a hater because Kwame heard somebody say this at first. Kwame heard a nigga say this.
They can't use Skip Bayless and the crew. What do they have? 50% is real if we
See, I heard somebody say this right here.
sell it. Now, if I walk away, what do they have? They can't use Gil's Arena name. They can't use Gil's Arena crew. That's part of my deal. They can't use Skip Bayless and the crew. That's part of my deal. So that means they will have to start brand new with a whole different cast and everything. Meaning they will have to go somewhere else, get all new equipment and get all new staff and talent to start up
How-
a basketball show and a football show. So it's
I
nothing.
understand what you're saying on that front. What I'm saying is, how is these?
Hold on, let me switch over to the Yeti mic. Now that I'm back inside. Yeti that boy up. Yeti that boy up. Now, the only thing that we confused on is that he said that nobody could use his staff. Nobody's supposed to be able to use his staff. That's what he said. But that's not what happened. They continue using his staff. They continue to this day. They still are under contract. And for the life of me, I can't understand why would you put together a crew and they all have a longer term deal than you. That right there is not sitting right with my stomach. That does not make any sense. I am not that nice of a person. I'm a nice guy, but I'm not finna put together Kenyon and Swaggy and everybody. I'm the one set up to play, and everybody contract gonna be longer than mine. How does that make any type of logical sense? But you can't ask Gil questions. He got millions that just listen to every damn thing he say. Now, do I think Gil is gonna get another deal? Yeah, but of course. Don't these thoughts get another man? It don't matter how bad they are, they get another one. What? So yeah, he gonna get another deal, no question. But what does he give up this time?
Able to take your name off of your channel, bro. That's your name.
No, okay. It wasn't them taking the name. I thought and felt this. I watched Matt Barnes, right? He had All the Smoke podcasts. Then he added, first he added Kevin Garnett.
Right.
So the Kevin Garnett show is under All the Smoke podcasts. So there's no Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, nothing. You're hidden under someone else, right? And then they added Rachel Nichols, hidden under someone else. So I was like, well, these two got hidden, but they're all individuals. I'm one person. I got a football and basketball. But if I had the Gills Arena page, but the football show get lost. So I was thinking build a network. So it's basically like the page is ESPN, and then there's Gills Arena, and then there's Gridiron. The football show.
That's
So
what I thought that you did initially when I first seen the name change. But
Mhm.
here's the thing, Gil. On the live stream, you said that when you got arrested, that's when they took the name from you because your name was no longer good in their eyes when it comes to promoting the product and being aligned with the brand.
Yes, that's what I said.
But now you saying something different is what I'm saying. You saying that was always the play for you to rebrand, for the brand to live on its own, basically. But then that's the thing that I had a problem with is, wait a minute. I thought, because honestly, from a business perspective, I looked at you as a genius. I'm like, oh shit, you really turning into a whole network.
Hey, come on now, stop lying.
No, seriously, this is honest to God truth. This on everything, on my father's grave. I said, Gil is a genius. He about to take on all of these other ESPNs and all of this other shit, and he don't need nobody to do it. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like from a content creation perspective, how you built the brand, how you put your homies on and shit like that. I salute you, and again, I think that you're great. But then
I'll tell you what, let's put some clarity on it. Now that we know he don't own, but 50% Underdog put them other people on. But we got to give them a shout out too. Let's give Underdog a salute too.
Here's my thing. Because I look at you as such a great businessman and as a great content creator, my expectation of you is higher. Because I don't look at you. I know you a contributor on the show, But I'm gonna just be honest with you. I don't look at you in the same vein that I look at the rest of the niggas that's on the show. Because you the brain, right? You the brain, you the brain. Without you, none of them other niggas exist in my mind. It's plenty of niggas that start a basketball podcast that ain't popping at all. That shit is.
And this one, Gil lost his whole team right here. The only person that's gonna be really loyal to him is Swaggy P. Because Swaggy P and him, Swaggy got him with, or he got Swaggy when he was a young rookie. But Rashard McCants heard this. Kenyon Martin heard this. These are men that you say you rock with. That man got up there, and the rest of them niggas ain't in the same vein as you. You the brain. And them boys up there know what they contribute to that show. They know what they contribute to that show. They know how good they are on that show. They know you a goofy cornball. They know this. But you let a nigga say that without you, the show ain't nothing. They ain't even in the same vein. And look how ironic that is. All of them still on the show except you, the so-called genius that they ain't in the same vein in and all this. All of them niggas underdog kept. The only one that ain't there is you. Yeah, he was right. He was so right that underdog sent their ass home early. He the only one that underdog sent home early. He got amnesty in the playoffs. He wasn't able to talk about Wemby or nobody. So, boy, this did not age well. So, Gil, next time you build a team together and somebody's dissing your team like this, you might want to say, no. My staff and me, we work together well. We got a great balance. And without them, the show don't really move. You might want to give them their little respect. I mean, that's the way respect works. You don't just sit there and watch a nigga diss your whole crew.
Same vein that I look at the rest of on the shoe is higher. Because my great businessman and as a great content creator, my expectation of you is higher. Because I don't look at you. I know you a contributor on the show, but I'm gonna just be honest with you. I don't look at you in the same vein that I look at the rest of the niggas that's on the show. Because you the brain, right? You the brain, you the brain. Without you, none of them other niggas exist in my mind. It's plenty of niggas that start a basketball podcast that ain't popping at all. That shit is trash. Let's just keep it 100. So
and without
now,
me, Gil don't exist.
So here's the thing. It's like, no, man.
It's the other way around, Kwame.
That's what you said, Gil. That's what you said.
Antoine, let me check him real quick. Kwame Brown.
That's what you said, bro.
You went
You
viral.
said you built No Chill Gil and it went into Gil's Arena. That's what you said.
Kwame,
you didn't say that cleared up.
Kwame.
Now he want to try to talk tough. When the boy just said he studied me, now he want to act like he helped me. The boy weird, man. The boy double talk. And this is what happened when you double talk. When you double talk like this, you get exposed. And so it is what it is. All this double talking got exposed. Him dissing Rashard McCants really set it off. Rashard McCants don't want to be around him. Him allowing people to talk, he backstabbed everybody that he fucked with. So it's not surprising me that none of the crew wants to go with him except Swaggy. But let's hear this real quick. Let's see. Do I got the right one up there? Yeah. Let's see. This is on NBA Cinema.
What Byron Scott said, and then Paul Pierce actually goes in on LeBron for joining another team. Let's peep it.
I don't think it's all his decision, to be honest with you. I think the Lakers are going to have a lot to do with this, as far as a lot to say, if they want to even pursue, bringing LeBron back or not. And I've been very vocal on how I feel about this whole situation. Been getting a lot of hate from all these fans that are LeBron lovers, which is fine because I have my opinion. I respect that just like I respect yours. But I've said it for a long time that I think they should part ways. So the Lakers got to look at getting younger, getting deeper, getting more athletic. That's the only way you're going to compete in the Western Conference.
When I think about the Warriors, I'm like, I cringe a little bit.
Why do you cringe at the
It's
Warriors?
because like now it's just like, man, come on. How many like Hall of Famer superstars you want to team up with?
Yeah.
at this stage?
That too, that part of
They're
it.
You know,
fucking 80 years old, though.
like I
bro.
get it, I get it.
It's still
But
like
then
what
it starts to turn into like a
WWE type shit.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's a
Like
showmanship. Like why we don't need
a
to do that. This
spectacle.
Okay, I
You
see what
know,
you're saying.
you know, it starts to turn into that.
Got
Because
you.
you guys
I
aren't
hear
gonna
you.
win.
I hear
but
you.
you guys are two of the biggest superstars the NBA has ever
What if they
had
did win?
on
Though?
one.
That's a big if, bro.
Like, come on.
See, this is a lot of fan talk. What if they did win? Man, these dudes, you got to keep it real. These dudes are fossils. They put together that super team in LA with Karl Malone, Gary Payton, all those guys. It was fun to watch. It was a great show. What happened? They got to the door. Things start to break down. Karl Malone got hurt. This is what's going to happen. These guys are old. They're thinking about the names on the back of the jerseys and not where people are at the stage of their career right now. You got to keep it in perspective. Where are people at with it right now in the stage of their career? What kind of impact can they have right now? Not legacy. What kind of impact could they have right now? And it's not much production you're going to get out of LeBron from a well-rounded NBA player perspective. You're going to get some offense. You're going to get some leaking out. You're going to get some numbers that he's going to figure out how to do because he's a professional, been that way for 23 years. But you're not going to get no winning basketball out of LeBron. I'm sorry. Regular season, maybe. But there's some monsters and gorillas out west. So any team LeBron go on, the defense is going to take an immediate hit. Immediate hit. So if you want a guy that you just want to have on your team for fanfare and notoriety, cool. But that's about it.
A big if. If was a fifth.
I mean, it's the super spectacle because then
said that shit would be a fake team. Oh my
no, it's
god,
not a fake team. It's just a show.
It's a
And we
showmanship.
are
It's like
the NBA is an entertainment company.
Sure.
And you talk about price.
You just don't think it would be a
They'll sell
basketball
tickets.
decision to play for the Warriors.
It's not
Just
a
selling tickets and having
basketball.
fun, but it ain't.
It's a spectacle.
Yo, I love.
Like looking at the names.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah,
at who,
yeah.
look at who they are
They're
today.
old.
Look at the rest of the conference at the NBA.
athletically. Oh,
At best
Athletically,
16,
it looks
a
like
16.
for me as a fan, when LeBron, if he teams up with Steph, I'll go watch that
Mhm.
with no expectation of winning. I just want to watch it.
Yeah.
I just want to see
that's
them on
my
the
thing.
court.
I'm just being
Like just because you like, damn, this is that era at the end of this era.
Yeah.
So the ticket for that is gonna go up.
Yeah.
And just to be able to watch that as a fan in the crowd, that's all you looking for.
Yeah.
Like you're not looking for that team to win nothing. It's cool. It'll be cool though. That's a cool thing. Like, damn, Steph, this era was really defined by LeBron and Steph.
Yeah.
Now you get them on the same team. So now what you saw at the Olympics, we can get that for a whole year.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be pretty dope.
Yeah.
And it's really a spectacle.
Now, Paul Pierce said it's a spectacle really has a new meaning. When I look at this and see that LeBron James is in talks to document the entire upcoming season through a documentary or episodic series. So with that in mind, we know he's most likely going to the Golden State Warriors because he and Steph have talked about it. And let's be clear, he's documented everything leading up to this point. If you think he didn't document the thing with Bronny James and being the first son father duo out there, then you're sadly mistaken. Obviously, that's going to be all compiled into a big documentary at the end of the career. And it feels like, you know, this supports a lot of people argument when they saying that these things are something different in basketball. These moves he's making. You think about bringing Bronny in, that's going to be one of those things that's going to be told in a documentary. Mark my words. later to try to push the narrative of his GOATness after his playing career. Him playing with Steph Curry, trying to get it done, trying to have their last dance style, saying that he got to play with him on his way out the league. That's another thing that's uh, documented in a way where everything, now that I'm looking at it, has been strategic. Him asking for a maximum deal by the Lakers to be able to leave, and make it like they pushed him out and pushed him to join Steph Curry, so it won't be viewed as a super team. And I don't see it as a super team now, but people are gonna have that argument like, look, LeBron always getting together with a super team of talent or a top guy, right?
And this is why Kobe, this is why MJ, this is why these type of players would never respect LeBron. They won't say it openly. They're not going to say it out in public, but I know they don't. Well, Kobe can't say it, rest his soul, but MJ would never say it publicly. I think there might be a clip floating out there that insinuates what I'm saying, but they're not going to say it openly and just say outright, I don't respect LeBron because of what he did, but they don't. Most people don't. Most NBA players can't respect the fact that he's always trying to find not just talented players to help him win, but he doesn't want to compete. He wants to play with the best players all on one team. And in his mind, he's such a basketball savant and he has such a high IQ. His excuse is that I should play with other players that have the same IQ as me. No, you should play with, if you're so smart, you should be able to coach up other players and get them to your level or close to it. Maybe not your athleticism, but they should understand the game like you. You got a son that don't even understand the game like you. So if you're this basketball savant, you should be able to bring other players up to your talent and not have to necessarily play with the best talent. You got to have some talent, but not the best players in the game. D Wade, Chris Bosh, like, come on. Now you about to play with Steph Curry. Even though it's geriatric, but Steph Curry, these are the best players that's ever, that they could be. Steph Curry is going to go down there as one of the top point guards to ever play. Bronny just not good enough for real. I don't know. I wonder if he's going to use his P. Diddy docs. Hey, man, I got to talk about something else that's current events because I don't think, come on, man, you got to stay in your lane. Like, where in the history of, where is this, where do they do this at where a son, huh? Rashad McCants go off on Gil? Okay. But where does a son do this? Shit just getting suggested to me. What? Shit just getting suggested to me. What? This is on around the association where Big Baller Brand was talking about him losing his wife, and his son commented on the situation. And I guess his son went on a podcast. His son that he helped get to the league, that he helped coach up, is going to not go to his father and tell him how he don't appreciate that or whatever else, or maybe not put it in the media. He goes on a podcast and talk against his father. Let's watch.
But LeVar said, let's look back at that.
You know, with my wife, you know, who Tina decided to go her own way. That's why you don't see it right here. But she want to go do something else, that's fine with me. We had our run. So even though she had a stroke and getting older, she would never be like, oh man, she was always beautiful in my eyes until you say, I want to go do something else.
Yeah.
Now you're not as beautiful to me again. The fact that if you decide to go this way, I'm gonna go that way, that's fine.
That's deep.
It is what it is, man. And like I said, anytime you can find somebody you can stay in love with for a long time or for one day, whatever, if you can witness that love, that's good. I had that one. And I found somebody else. But it is what it is.
Wait, who?
No need to worry. And you know
Sorry,
what? Go ahead.
For my when I have my wife, I'm gonna make sure that she don't gotta work, nothing. Like I'm gonna give her everything.
Right.
Literally everything.
But listen, don't give her too much.
No, I'm gonna give her the world.
Yeah, don't give her too much though. Because she go crazy. Let her do something. Bring something to the table. Let her bring something to the table. Yeah, but it's more than love. You gonna get some love from somebody that's free. But anyway, let me tell you this. Let her do something. Don't give her everything. As long as she don't ask for nothing, then you give her a lot. But don't give her too much. Because then she's gonna do something else, because that's gonna fade out. That's gonna fade out. Don't give her too much.
First and foremost, I want to say I love both my parents, but the situation that is put before y'all is not how it went down. I'm not about to get into all the details. But long story short, my mom didn't want to leave. She was quote unquote, damn near forced to leave. I helped her leave. I'm glad she left. She's in a great spot. Shout out to Dip. Put her up nice. So she's good. My pops is good. They obviously don't fuck with each other, but I fuck with them both. And she was not wrong at all. She did not leave him because he lost his foot. That's a myth that was put out there. What else have I seen? I don't know. But my dad did a great job raising us. My mom did a great job raising us. They didn't work out, and it is what it is, man. They both do.
This is unfortunate, man. This is so unfortunate that a boy needs to feel like he still needs to protect his mom. You got a daddy. That was his wife. Let him do what he gonna do. If she want to come say something, let her say something. But why would you do this as a son? Like, come on, dog. Come on, dog. Don't do this to your pops. This is wild. This is wild. He just put it out there. My mom wasn't wrong. This is and that. Damn. I hate that he feel like he had to do this. I don't think he did, but to me, this is whack. This one I would have looked at my son a little weird. Like, nigga, how the fuck is you knowing my relationship with my wife? You don't know my personal relationship with my wife. You don't know what going on behind the scenes. I might have made you think your mom was a picture perfect queen because that's my job. But you don't know what your mom be saying to me in a private room. You don't know what's going on. You supposed to think your mama is a perfect angel. But if I say something, nigga, it's supposed to be law. You don't know our relationship. But, you know, it is what it is.
As long as she don't ask for nothing, then you give her a lot. But don't give her too much. Because then she's gonna do something else, because that's gonna fade out. That's gonna fade out. Don't give her too much.
First and foremost, I want to say I love both my parents, but the situation that is put before y'all is not how it went down. I'm not about to get into all the details. But long story short, my mom didn't want to leave. She was quote unquote, damn near forced to leave. I helped her leave. I'm glad she left. She's in a great spot. Shout out to Dip. Put her up nice. So she's good. My pops is good. They obviously don't fuck with each other, but I fuck with them both. And she was not wrong at all. She did not leave him because he lost his foot. That's a myth that was put out there. What else have I seen? I don't know. But my dad did a great job raising us. My mom did a great job raising us. They didn't work out, and it is what it is, man. They both doing well, and I love them both. We can move on now, unless you want to say something.
Well said, Duke.
So that was one.
So the media put out that she left because he lost his foot. What did he say? What did the father say, though? Because the father said she wanted to do something different. I just don't like that he said she was damn near forced to leave. Like, come on, dog. He said, I think it's healthy. His father is so narcissistic and has a big ego, and he has a big mouth. And damn, well, she married him. She must like big egos and big mouth. Sounds like he's standing up for his mom. She's being dragged on the internet. But why didn't LeVar Ball clean it up? Why didn't he say, no, she didn't leave me because of my foot? Like if I had a wife and she didn't leave me because my foot got chopped off, I would say, you know what? Y'all, the information that's out there about her leaving me for my foot being amputated, that's false. She just wanted to do something different. I just don't like when kids get in grown folk business. You still a kid. That was a no-no back in the day. We don't know her personality. She had been sick this whole time. You're right. As a son, I never spoke on my parents' business. Yeah, we got all these goddamn boys thinking that they supposed to protect their mama and all this. You don't need to protect your mama. Your daddy ain't kicking your mama ass. You only protect your mama from something violent and physical. But I mean, I understand you guys saying that he wanted to protect his mom image for saying that she just left her dad or his dad when he got his foot chopped off. I can understand that one. That's not cool to make somebody look like that. They'll stay with you through your sickness, but you're such a bad person that if they go through something, then you just gonna leave them. I can understand that part. If he'd have just said that part, I would have understood that. But he was like, she was damn near forced to leave. I'm like, wait a minute. He said, I kicked my 12-year-old out for being in my business. Okay, he said the dad kind of did clear it up. He just didn't put it in that way. The son did. Yeah, he's talking about mama's boys. Yeah, this goddamn mama's boys. Just taking the mama side off rip. The man said she wanted to do something different. He ain't say she left him because of the foot. His mother is no more bald. Y'all crazy. Gotta be a great dad for all them boys to be successful hoopers. He probably a great dad in our eyes. They probably mad as fuck at him for all the shit that he done put him through. And I'm telling you, they probably mad as hell. That dude is probably aggressive. He probably stayed on them this whole time, even to this day. So, they probably come into their own manhood and probably, they might be against them. They're not going to appreciate them until they have their own kids that they see coming up. They're not going to appreciate what he did. How could you? You don't know nothing different. And then the media telling them that your daddy mean, aggressive, and loud. Nigga, your daddy got you to the league. Shut up. You ain't no killer. You ain't been to prison. Your daddy did something right. His presence did something. He's just too old. He needed a publicist. I don't think he needed a publicist. I think he was what was needed at the time. You needed to hear a real black man come up there and be bold and whatever else, because that's how we speak. That's how us black men talk. So I think LeVar Ball was needed at the time. This is how your granddaddies talk. This is how, when men were men, that's how they spoke. Confident. Even if you're wrong, nigga, you still got to be confident. Brash, with his chest out. Said it with his chest. Now, is he perfect? No, ain't nobody perfect. She said I was talking about the son, not the dad. You say Nick cooked Rashad? Oh, yeah, I saw that. But Rashad, let's see what Rashad said about the situation.
We are the Jacksons. Michael's like, look, man, y'all cool, but I'm Mike. I gotta do this shit on my own, my nigga. I don't really need you.
Man, all right, in today's video, we have to get into this Rashad McCants and Gilbert Arenas beef, because it's officially starting to spill over. We've now got an interview where Rashad McCants is talking about Gilbert, and he's basically saying that Gilbert thinks he's bigger than the actual program. And if y'all remember, this ties back to that breakdown I did about a month ago when Gilbert Arenas was sending shots over at Underdog. That's exactly what he was getting at in that clip. He made a Michael Jackson reference and showed off his new studio while doing it.
No, I don't have a shot. I'm not sure they like me anymore. I'm just, I don't know. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Michael Jackson. Okay, that's it. That's all I can give you. Thriller's coming. Shut up already. Okay?
So Gilbert Arenas showed a quick image of his new show, which he's apparently setting up in his basement. I did cover all of that in previous videos, so I won't go back through everything here since y'all should already be caught up. But for anyone who isn't, Gilbert had been sending warnings over to Underdog regarding contract negotiations, and from what it sounds like, they didn't come back with the terms he wanted. Gilbert went on his own YouTube channel and basically said, everybody's out here saying the show's better without me, so all right, I'll show you all then. A lot of people picked up on this, and Tommy Bryant went viral again because of it, since he'd actually been warning about what Underdog might do once Gilbert revealed publicly that he was only a 50-50 partner with those guys. But again, I already broke that whole situation down in earlier videos. What I do want to highlight today is how this beef between Gilbert Arenas and Rashad McCants might actually be bigger than a lot of people realize. Marcellus Wiley came out and broke it down in a way that gives us real perspective, especially since he's got history working in studio environments and alongside partners. He knows what it looks like when a situation starts falling apart, contract negotiations and all that. So he laid it out from that angle, and I want to give his take some attention too. But first, let me show you this clip of what Rashad McCants actually said about Gilbert Arenas, and then I'll come back with some.
And the backstory that y'all don't really remember is that Gilbert Arenas sent a letter that Rashad McCants wrote to Gilbert Arenas, or a screenshot of a DM or a text, to where Rashad McCants is really thanking Gilbert Arenas in the humblest way and really appreciating him for actually giving him an opportunity, because he ended up getting a house out the situation and things of that nature. But Gilbert thought it would be funny to show it to Carcino, like as a, you know, look at what I did for these people type of situation. And I think Carcino showed it to Rashad McCants. So Rashad showed him, I think Carcino showed Rashad, like, this nigga ain't your friend. Like, why would he send this letter to us? And, you know, Gil, like I said, he knows how to put together some jobs. He knows how to capitalize off of a moment. Same way he goes and gets the girl that was allegedly having sex or wanted to be with LeBron. Gilbert capitalized off that moment and do a show with the girl. So he knows how to capitalize on a moment, and that's about it. But he doesn't know how to deal with actual people, because you don't do shit like that. Yeah, you don't send information when your man's is praising you for something good. You don't send that information out to other people.
More commentary. Be sure to hit that like button for me if you haven't already. It really helps this channel keep growing. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
We are the Jacksons. Michael's like, look, man, y'all cool, but I'm Mike. I gotta do this shit on my own, my nigga. I don't really need y'all. So it's kind of like if Joe Jackson is underdog, like, listen, Joe, go do my own thing now. This is the last tour that I'm gonna be performing with you guys. Hope you have a good time. So, you know, you gotta let Mike do Mike, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't no, you don't know what's gonna happen, but you just know that it's been a hell of a fucking time doing what we do. We're gonna continue to do what we do. Regardless, I think this space just needs what we brought to the table. I think we've become trendsetters with conversation,
honesty,
sound bites, the analytical prowess that we bring to the table. And I think just me being a contrarian and a villain and being able to bring in entertainment value, props, and all the different things, man, confidence, and being the least accomplished on the couch, being able to talk my shit like I'm a fucking Hall of Famer is one of the things I lean into. But the one thing I want to address is that, man, it's a character. Like, people think that this is who I am, and it's not.
I can see it now.
And when people get it, they get it fucked up when they see me and they feel like, oh, woo, woo, woo. And a lot of people take shots and think just because I'm saying what I'm saying on the show, that this is, or how I feel, and it's like, bro, I'm the only one on the show playing the character.
All right, so that's the clip right there. And like I said, the reason I pulled up that older clip of Gilbert.
And that character seemed to be working because the show get a lot of sound bites based on the beef that he has with a lot of different people on the show. Rashad McCants is in all of those clips. And some of the most controversial clips is Rashad McCants. Yeah, Josiah left. You know, Gil get him all the jobs, so he's not going to go with Underdog.
Rashad's actually relieved Gilbert's gone because now Rashad gets to be the star of the show, and he's planning to stick around since there's a chance Gilbert ends up starting something new with Skip Bayless instead. That's apparently the context behind that clip where you see Rashad praising Underdog for the opportunity they gave him, and Gilbert ended up responding to that too. So I've got all of that lined up for today's video. Let's get into the rest of these clips and I'll come back with some more commentary afterward. Here's the next one.
But one thing that's not is maybe the response. The real response from Rashad McCants, where Gilbert Arenas is like, yo, what you gonna do? Because you gotta understand in these cooling periods and this non-compete era and non-compete statements that you put inside your contracts, I think Gilbert is handcuffed in terms of direct communication with those that are interested in staying with Underdog. I think so. Look, there's a lot of ways this can play because in this media era today, we've all been duped and fooled, right? Shannon Sharp, remember he had the audio tape. Turns out it was a promotion for some company and, you know, ED. Like you could get suckered. So I don't mind getting suckered, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm thinking. Like, yo, you got to keep some distance between you and these cats. And off the record, you can figure out your way, but you can't get caught. I think Gilbert has been hush-hush and just responded to things in real time because he's in that non-compete. Now, that typically means you're moving on. That doesn't mean you're staying here. What, you going to compete with us? You're not going anywhere then. But it looks like Gilbert may be moving on. And then it's like, okay, everyone else has to work on their individual situations. And if Underdog are smart, they locked them in, if the ones they wanted, before Gilbert could compete.
And that's what happened. Underdog locked these guys in. They knew they were going to get rid of Gilbert. So they went back to these guys and gave them a longer contract than Gilbert. They knew they was going to let Gilbert go. So he don't really have a contract. He's the only one that don't really have a contract. Everybody else is still good. Swaggy is under contract until September, allegedly. All of these guys are still under contract by Gilbert's own admission. So, hey, I don't know. Josiah is going to definitely go with Gil. I think Swaggy would go with Gil too. I highly doubt Rashad go with Gil. And it's up in the air if it's up in the air if Kenyon and Brandon Jennings are going to go with Gil because Underdog might offer them that bag. And it ain't dissing Gil to level up and secure your family some money. I don't understand that.
So if I had to just say it the way it is, I say Gilbert is gone, obviously. Josiah's going to dip with him because I just can't imagine. No Josiah and Gilbert. Kenyon's coming with him. So, I think that Rashad's staying because I think Rashad has gotten a taste of stardom that he wasn't going to be. I think I could carry this. Especially, I think Rashad sees that Gilbert always going to outshine him, and he don't want to play that game. Being real. And Skip is for the taking. Skip doesn't have enough energy in his ammunition to fight Rashad. So if everyone clears the deck and it's just Rashad and Skip and some newbies, some new booty up there, Rashad gonna take over that show.
So that's basically what Marcellus Wiley laid out, man. He's pointing out that Rashad McCants is pretty much done working with Gilbert Arenas, and he's positioning himself to move up, possibly starting something new with Skip Bayless instead, rather than continuing with Gilbert, since that would only end up limiting his role going forward. Now, these clips I'm showing y'all actually came out a couple days ago. I didn't get a chance to report on this clip of Marcellus was real.
What I'm so proud to be wearing, giving us the opportunity to be able to show and prove as the #1 sports show on the internet, YouTube, everywhere else. I just want to be able to.
He's sucking dick.
Oh shit. Oh shit. I almost spit that damn water everywhere.
I guess the gloves are off, man. I guess the gloves are off.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, shook your hand before the show.
Well, I talked about my lungs. LeBron said this. And he
Damn. Okay.
It's Glaze Wednesday.
You said this.
Okay. Well, thanks again. Thanks again. You know, obviously he's picked sides, so we already know where he's gonna go.
And so Gilbert Arenas responded to that clip as well, saying that Rashad McCants picked his side. Here's that clip right here.
Are you nervous, baby?
Yeah, baby. He's making his decision right now.
I'm so proud to be wearing, giving us the opportunity to be able to show and prove
It's not looking good. It's not looking good.
sports show on the internet.
They gave me the opportunity. I gave you the opportunity.
Ooh.
Oh shit. No, Nick, not. No, he's serious. Oh shit. He's making his decision. Don't laugh, King, and stop laughing. Damn water everywhere. Skip. Stop laughing, Brandon. Stop laughing. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Be serious.
It's a Glaze Wednesday.
You said this. Okay. Thanks again. You know, obviously he's picked sides. So we already know where he's going.
Oh my God, Fredo! Damn it! So you're not on my side. You're not with us. You was one of my best soldiers.
Oh,
damn it!
Baby, what you gonna do?
We do got a seat open.
Yep.
Pat Bev, Evan Turner. Maybe can you get them?
Damn. Don't be mad, baby.
Okay, so that's what kickstarted everything I showed y'all in today's video. Rashad McCants going on the podcast and talking about where things actually stand with Gilbert Arenas now. So with that being said, guys, drop your thoughts down in the comments below about everything we covered. Don't forget to hit that like button if you made it this far, and don't forget to hit subscribe as well.
Salute KB and most of the chat. Happy Thursday. Salute. Dang, man. No, Rashad, Skip gonna tell you to sit your black ass down and put that crown back on. All right, hold on. Let me get this. Let me get this video. Let's go into some other topics. I gotta show y'all this one. Man, this pastor went off, man. This was on A Righteous Perspective. Man, this pastor went scorched earth. Let me see this pastor name. Let's see. Who is this pastor right here? See if it's in the description. Nope, I don't see it. Well, let's get into it. I'll figure out his name.
First, grievous wolf. The Reverend Al Sharpton. We all have seen what has been going on the past several days, a little over a week, the responses to many of the executive orders that President Donald J. Trump, number 45 and 47, he's our president. When Joe Biden was our president, he was our president. When Barack Obama was our president, he was our president. And now President Trump is our president. But when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion, they can care less about private worship. They just want you to bow to their sacred cow in public. They just want to put you through all of these dumb racial consciousness programs about equity and beat you over the head about non-issues. Hear me today. If you are economically disadvantaged in 2025, it's more than likely because of some decisions that you have made and some choices and decisions that you have failed to make. The Bible says this. It says that if a man doesn't work, neither shall he eat. And if a man can't take care of his family, he's worse than an infidel. The government is not going to solve all of your problems. See, we're looking to the government when we should be looking to Jesus. Word says that the government shall be upon his shoulder. But we are serving the government while we're overlooking the fact that God has cattle on 1,000 hills. And all of the silver and gold belong to him.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Blessings, peace, grace to each and every one of you guys. This is a follow-up. This is the beginning of the series here. Pastor or Elder John Amanchukwu, he absolutely dismantles Al Sharpton, man. You guys got to see this. I'm going to let this thing play. I'll give my thoughts at the end of this. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let's check it out.
Yeah, it's about to get worse. He talking about showing up. Yeah, it's about to get worse, man. He said, brother is preaching. Yeah, it ain't over because it's all about who we like. And so many people fall in love with the character of people and who they think people are instead of, trying to seek the truth. And the truth of the matter is you being blinded. You don't never give your vote to just one people. Like, it just don't make sense. It does not make any sense.
My wife brought all three of our children into the world, and I'm not fighting to take that role. Amen, somebody. Acts chapter 20, verse 27. We'll read down to the 32nd verse. It reads, "For I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of God." Paul makes it plain here, rather Luke makes it plain here, that he has not shunned to do so. Writing, Luke the writer makes that plain. He says, "Take heed therefore unto yourselves and to all the flock over the which the Holy Ghost hath made you overseers, to feed the church of God, which he hath purchased with his own blood." He tells them that you need to take heed to yourselves, that you watch over the flock, but keep in mind that it wasn't your that purchased the church, but that this church was purchased by the of Jesus. Verse 29 says, "For I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock. Also of your own selves shall men arise, speaking perverse things to draw away disciples after them." Tells them there's going to be some evil men that arise among you, and also amongst you shall some defect. And their intent will not be to build up the church of Jesus Christ. Their intent will be to draw people after themselves. Verse 31.
Damn, the NAACP ain't been for black since Jesus died at Mel. Holy moly, donut shop. Dang. No matter how much you give some people, they're going to mess up the bag. Now, that's true. That's a fact, Jack.
One says, "Therefore, watch." Good God Almighty. Too many people are looking at the wrong stuff. You're watching the wrong thing. You're inspecting the wrong thing. The wrong things have your conscience filled with nothingness. Don't miss what is going on in this season. Some things that I'm going to talk about in this message, I don't want to move too fast, but the Christian church has done a terrible job at watching. You know, the role of the watchman is to do more than watch. He is a watchman. He's standing over the city watching when pending danger is coming. but your eyes can see, but they don't talk. So not only do you have to watch, we are called to watch, but you have to be willing to speak up and say something about what you are seeing.
Absolutely. Silence gives consent.
Says, therefore, watch and remember that by the space of 3 years, I cease not to warn everyone night and day with tears. Paul, he says here, man, this thing moved me. It tugged at my heart. It gnawed at me. It was personal. It was personal. Verse 32. And now, brethren, I commend you to God and to the word of his grace, which is able to build you up and to give you an inheritance among all them which are sanctified. Just for a moment tonight, I want to preach a message in your hearing entitled Grievous Wolves. Grievous wolves. Everything that looks like a sheep is not a sheep. Everything that looks like a sheep is not a sheep. And some of this separation that's going to take place will only happen when the Lord comes back. He's going to separate the sheep from the goats, and he is going to settle the score. Titus 1, chapter 10, Titus 1, verse 10, verse 10 through 11, rather. Titus 1, verse 10 through 11. The King James Version tells us this. It says, for there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not for filthy lucre's sake. This passage of scripture reads, verse 10 through 11 in the New Living Translation this way. It says, for there are many rebellious people who engage in useless talk and deceive others. This is especially true of those who insist on circumcision for salvation. There was a sect of Jews who were promoting the circumcision as a prerequisite to salvation. Paul makes it clear here that these individuals were speaking of things that were vain, because Christ did not require that of them. That was through the law. But Christ came to fulfill the law, and fulfill it he did. Verse 11 says they must be silenced. In other words, y'all need to figure out a way to shut these people up, because they're getting ready to mess up the church. Because, you know, the average man at 19, the age that I got saved at, if someone were to tell me that I had to be circumcised as a way of being brought into the Christian faith, that would have been a hard hurdle to cross. And so Paul makes it clear here that no, these people need to be silenced because they are turning whole families away from the truth by their false teaching. And they do it only for money. You know, the Christian church, sadly today, needs hooked on phonics for Christians, because so few people understand the sincerity and the redemptive power of God's word. So few people today view the word of God as having the ability to transform a man's life and or heart. You know, the word of God, it was once said that the word of God is so shallow that a precious child can go to it, drink water, and not worry about drowning, but so deep that an experienced scuba diver can take a dive in and not touch the bottom. The word of God is shallow for those who need the sincere meat that is deep enough to give those who need the meat of the word, to give them strength thereby to grow. What am I saying? I'm saying tonight that in the same manner that Paul warned Titus of people who must be silenced, who essentially pushed syncretism upon people in the church, which is the amalgamation of cultural beliefs and thought systems, today there are those who are guilty of doing the same for the furtherance of their own special interest, side hustle, or
Dish and Dirt, they gonna take your channel. You keep this up. Democrats tell black people they must follow them to be saved and go to heaven. Yeah, I mean, I learned a long time ago, because I'm black, I must be a Democrat. You know, we black out here, and that's why they keep reiterating that to us. You know, we don't have enough brain to think for ourselves, and we got to be together. You know, we got to stick on code. Be black. Be Democrat. That's the only way that makes you black. The only way you get chicken at the cookout. And you got to like all this ratchet shit. If you don't like it, you lame. You know?
Alluring stronghold that they have pledged allegiance to. Some people need to be silenced. Booker T. Washington said it this way. He said it in 1911. He said this, that there is a class of colored people who make a business of keeping the troubles, the wrongs, and the hardships of the Negro race before the public. Having learned that they are able to make a living out of their troubles, they have grown into the settled habit of advertising their wrongs, partly because they want sympathy and partly because it pays. Some of these people do not want the Negro to lose his grievances because they do not want to lose their jobs.
Nothing has changed from the early 1900s when Booker T. Washington spoke those words. This race hustle is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and so many people are capitalizing on it.
With this in mind, we can bring to the forefront tonight our first grievous wolf, the Reverend Al Sharpton. We all have seen what has been going on the past several days, a little over a week, the responses to many of the executive orders that President Donald J. Trump, number 45 and 47, he's our president. When Joe Biden was our president, he was our president. When Barack Obama was our president, he was our president. And now President Trump is our president. But we have seen the fake outrage that many race baiters and race hustlers are now pushing upon those who are low information voters. And see, when you are a low information voter, you're also a low information thinker. And low information voters and low information thinkers produce low information outcomes.
He said, you ever give your opinion on Oprah running her mouth about Whitney Houston? If not, I'm curious to know what you think about that. Oh, I got to go check that out. Oprah was talking about Whitney. The only thing I know is Oprah, the one who bust her out for being on drugs when she did it live, but I'll go look it up. I'll go look it up. Appreciate it.
And so here we are today with all of these lies being told about the revocation of LBJ's executive order, the 1965 Discrimination Act. Now let's keep in mind that LBJ was a racist. I don't know if they still teach this in school, but when you think of LBJ, think about the overall deconstruction and imploding of the black family. Think about this, that from the 1890s all the way up to the 1950s, the black marriage rate rivaled that of whites. But after LBJ came along with his Great Society plan, he found a creative way to remove the black man from the home and to replace him with a $300 to $400 check from the federal government. And by doing so, they made it difficult for women who were on their own or women who were married to receive support from the government. The only way that they could do this is that they had to hide the patriarch who was in the house. And the same LBJ said that I would have niggers voting for, and I quote, that I would have niggers voting for the Democrat Party for the next 200 years. The question is, since when did LBJ cease from being a racist? And so as all of these talking heads on MSNBC and ABC and CBS are conjuring up all of this hysteria, keep in mind that LBJ was a racist, is a racist, and his policies destroyed the black community. A big hand clap goes right there. So what has happened and what is going on? All right. I have an article here. It says assessing claims about Trump's revocation of an LBJ executive order. It says President Donald Trump signed nearly 3 dozen executive orders during his first week in office. One order he signed on Tuesday repealed a variety of federal diversity requirements, including a 1965 executive order that forbade discrimination in hiring practices by government contractors issued by President Lyndon B. Johnson. First and foremost, the president doesn't have power to revoke the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Now he has power to revoke executive orders. And we would see that not only did President Trump write some executive orders, but President Barack Obama wrote some executive orders himself. that got us into this mess that we're trying to clean up as it relates to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I'm not telling you something that's new. Bishop Wooden has been talking about these same things for a long time, whether people liked it or whether or not they disagreed. And I know that if he was here on tonight, that he would be talking about the same stuff, reminding you of the same thing that Paul told us, that he did not fail to teach the whole counsel. This is the whole counsel. It says some social media users appear to have mistakenly conflated Trump's executive order with the provision of the 1964 Civil Rights Act and falsely claimed that the Newswire post and a single person on the left, and not a single person on the left, bothered to have this codified into law for 60 years. So they're trying to conflate and mix up what he actually did. All right, these claims are mostly false, ignoring that other laws protect people from employment discrimination. While this executive order did bar federal contractors from discriminating against any employee or applicant for employment because of race, color, religion, sex, or sexual orientation, gender identity, or national origin, such discriminatory practices are also made illegal through Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. That is federal law, and that law cannot change unless the House and the Senate come together, their checks and balances, and weigh in and vote to change that. In 2014, President Barack Obama signed an executive order extending the non-discrimination clause in Johnson's 1965 executive order to also include sexual orientation and gender identity. Such language is not present in the Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. But recent Supreme Court precedent protects both categories from discrimination. All right, here I have a copy of the executive order that President Barack Obama signed in 2014. And I'll read just a part of this. It says the first sentence of numbered paragraph 1 of section 202 was revised by substituting sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or national origin for sex and national origin. What is the point? He provided protections for people who had mental illnesses, who were trying to mentally rape the minds of our children in the public school system. He provided space for them to push their agenda and be covered by the federal government. And what President Trump is doing is saying, hey, if you're going to teach a child at the age of 4 that they can be a boy when they are a girl, if you're going to teach a girl at the age of 4 that she can be a boy, then you cannot receive a penny from the federal government. Now, the question tonight is, what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that is Barack Obama did the reverse. Barack Obama said, if you don't allow men or young boys to go into the bathroom with young girls, then you're not going to get federal funding. So these schools are confused now because you had one president basically saying, yeah, you're going to goddamn do everything we want you to do. And if you don't allow young boys in the bathroom, you won't get federal funding. Now you have a president saying, you better not do that, or you're gonna not get federal funding. So people are confused. Obama really opened the floodgates on the attack on women, in my opinion. And Obama, it kind of makes sense because Obama grew up around a transgender and grew up amongst these people. So Obama that's why he's advocating for every kid to grow up around one, you know. Even though there's no studies that say that this is the best thing for you, even though I can show you a video of 2 adopted gay parents who just got 100 years in prison because they had over like 2 terabytes or 1 terabyte of child pornography and the things that they did with these little kids once they adopted them. So, you know, and men and women have been afraid to talk about this because it don't get you nowhere. It gets you in trouble just for trying to protect children.
What's wrong with that? But the problem is we have these grievous wolves who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Reverend Al Sharpton has been shutting out black people for a long time. And it's time for us to shut his mouth. In the same way that Paul told Titus to shut the mouths of those Jews who talked about the circumcision. We need to shut up this lying Reverend Al Sharpton. And how do we shut him up? We shut him up with the truth. The Bible says, by the truth, and shut it not. That's how we shut them up. But you see, politics shapes the culture. And we cannot escape from politics. You can't do it. Because it is the Etch-a-Sketch that creates our society. And
What did I tell y'all they teach us in the black community? Most black men, especially, say, I don't fuck with politics. I don't do no politics. And that's the reason we go to school. That's the reason why so many people are in prison. Politics shape everything. Without politics, there will be no rules, no laws, no nothing. You have to get into politics. They the real gangsters anyway. And so for people to say that they don't do politics is crazy. Do you know how many weasels in politics right now that's just joining because they know that's how they get power? They just joining these groups. Politics is a way of life. Yeah, these people are above everything. They don't give a damn what you say about them.
was Lyndon B. Johnson who tried to set up laws that kept the preacher from talking about politics. So therefore, he wanted to gain favor in the South and win his election when he was in Texas. So therefore, he passed laws to silence the preacher. But today, the only preacher who is told not to talk about politics is the preacher who may not support the donkey. If you ride and love the donkey party, if you love the Democrat party, then they won't say anything about you. But if you are a registered independent, or if you choose to be a Republican, then they will find a way to tell you that you can't say the things that you are saying. Reverend Al Sharpton is a wolf. He's been a wolf for a long time. He was once a big wolf. Today, he's a slim wolf. But a wolf he is. And keep in mind, this is a...
I see Pastor got jokes. He was once a big wolf, and now he's a skinny wolf. Because it looked like he on that Ozempic. But it was once upon a time that I had that fupa. He had that stomach hanging, throat hanging, and now he done slimmed up. You know, thank God for his workouts. You know, he probably work out 3 times a day. Probably diet, eat right. You know how it goes. You get that money, you start dieting and living better, you know. So that's probably what happened.
Same Reverend Al Sharpton who received $500,000 from the Kamala Harris campaign to give her a softball interview. A grievous wolf. Now, there's nothing wrong with the man being compensated for doing an interview. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't argue about the amount of money that he was paid. The amount is a non-factor. The issue is that he did the interview but didn't tell us that he was paid. That's the problem. That's a conflict of interest. Am I saying anything tonight? And so now people are listening to Reverend Al Sharpton.
Be careful, Pastor, because these people are so good at semantics that he wasn't necessarily paid. They get their companies paid. So that is technically not correct, I don't think. Most of these guys want plausible deniability. And I think not only Roland Martin, but I think also Al Sharpton, they're smart enough to have production companies or companies that you pay so they can always say, I don't get paid to do nothing. But the media companies get paid, which in turn pays them. So let's just say it in the right way so that we can't get sued.
And they're following his buy-in campaign. I have a clip right here. I want to show it to you. Take a look at this. Take a look at this clip. This is Reverend Al Sharpton, the grievous wolf, in Costco, leading a buy-in. Just look at him. Look at all of us following after this wolf. So sad. They said there was about 100 people there. Probably 2 of them were white. The rest of them were black. What a sad shame. This is what he did. He bought Costco gift cards for $25 and gave it out to 100 people. And the 100 people who wanted something for free signed up, went down to Costco, and received this free handout from this grievous wolf. And at the end of the day, you know, there's a lot of things that Reverend Al Sharpton can march about. A lot of things. First and foremost, he led this march in Harlem. If he were to skip town and go over to Margaret Sanger's prestigious abortion clinic, we can find a valid reason for him to march. Margaret Sanger, a self-avowed racist who was a darling of the KKK, helped eliminate over 20 million black people and counting. In New York, there are more black babies aborted than are given birth to. But instead, this grievous wolf wants to do a buy-in and get a video op using his own people who have been subverted to send a message upon a lie. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is a false triune idol. Let me explain that to you. It's a false triune idol. It's a false triune idol because it mimics the Trinity. In the Trinity, we have Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But when it comes to DEI, it's diversity, equity, and inclusion. God longs for private worship that will extend out into public worship. But when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion, they can care less about private worship. They just want you to bow to their sacred cow in public. They just want to put you through all of these dumb racial consciousness programs about equity and beat you over the head about non-issues. Hear me today. If you are economically disadvantaged in 2025, it's more than likely because of some decisions that you have made and some choices and decisions that you have failed to make. The Bible says this, it says that if a man doesn't work, neither shall he eat. And if a man can't take care of his family, he's worse than an infidel. The government is not going to solve all of your problems. See, we're looking to the government when we should be looking to Jesus. Where it says that the government shall be upon his shoulder. But we are serving the government while we're overlooking the fact that God has cattle on 1,000 hills. And all of the silver and gold belong to him. We need to keep in mind that as these people are lying to us, that we don't get tripped up and hung up on their lies. We need the black church to understand. The black church needs to understand that we need to get off of this woe is me, I'm a victim, nobody can help me, nobody supports me kind of talk. It's not becoming of a denomination or a people group to expect the white man to do for us when we fail to do for ourselves. The big hand clap goes right there. And so here it is tonight. We're talking about these grievous wolves. When you go to Acts chapter 20, verse 1, you see something. You see that there was an uproar that had broke out in Ephesus. Acts 20, verse 1, it says, and after the uproar was ceased, Paul called unto him the disciples and embraced them and departed for to go into Macedonia. Now, if you are a thinking person, you want to first and foremost know what was this uproar and what caused all of this chaos in Ephesus. Well, I could go straight to it, but let's go over to Acts 19, verse 11, and then we'll read up to this uproar and this riot that broke out. But we have to see the full context of what's going on as Paul is traveling on his missionary journey and bringing the gospel to Asia. Acts 19, verse 11 says, and God wrought special miracles by the hands of Paul, so that from his body were brought unto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, and the diseases departed from them, and evil spirits went out of them. Paul was so anointed that they could take a handkerchief, attach it to his side, remove the handkerchief, and then take it to a person who was sick of Bell's palsy, or someone who had some chronic illness, and because of the anointing, I feel my help in here, and because of the anointing of Almighty God, that person would be healed because of the anointing that was upon this man's life, but ultimately because of the Holy Ghost that resided in this man, Paul.
You guys enjoyed this, man. This was powerful. This was powerful. I love the talking points because I love the.
Man, that was amazing. That was crazy. And I hate that after that, I should have played this video first because everybody asked me to look up this video. I should have played this one before that. Because I hate to have to get to a robbery video right after a video like that. But man, that pastor was spot on. And anybody still mad? Because I told you, most people, we got to be Democrat first. So most people ain't black first, they Democrat first. So they're going to hate you for not being a Democrat. They Democrat first. But that was a powerful speech. Thank goodness that these pastors are waking up. Because he's not the only pastor that's talking like this now. But allegedly, this is supposedly the Gucci man's robbery. Let's get into some real quick.
This shit over, shit. You dropped this dumb. Bro, let them know you done deal, bro. That's a done deal. Let them know you dropping me, bro. No, say it. Who should I drop from 10-17? Shout out. Real nigga ain't never did no police shit or none of that, bro. Tell them what's going on. Bro, we just did it. That's done. What you do? You drop. You said you want to be dropped, you drop. Sign paper, it's done. This shit over, shit. You dropped this dumb deal. Bro, let them know you done deal, bro. That's a done deal. Let them know you dropping me, bro. No, say it. Who should I drop from 10-17? Shout out. Real nigga ain't never did no police shit or none of that.
A real ain't never did no police stuff and none of that. And the dude standing in the video with the Draco. God, dog.
Hey, bro, tell them what's going on. Bro, we just did it. That's done. What you do? You drop. You said you want to be dropped, you drop. Sign paper, it's done.
I ain't never seen Gucci do this. Yeah, y'all ain't never seen Gucci do this. Y'all ain't never seen Gucci do this. Gucci. Ooh. Gucci. That boy Gucci. Ooh.
Gucci showing you he free. A real Edward getting life for keeping it real. Man, this is crazy, man. And somehow, I believe Pooh Shiesty gonna get out. I believe he gonna go to jail for a little while, and he gonna let him out. He makes so much money for this culture, this demonic culture. I guarantee you, he still got another player. He still can get another run at it. With as much money as they can make off Pooh Shiesty free, and I think Pooh Shiesty can do about. Nah, he probably won't be relevant after 10 years. Maybe not. It depends. He gonna have to do some time. He'll have to do some time. I don't think he's getting out like scot-free, but I think he makes so much money that they can keep him relevant until he get out. I don't know. His influence is crazy. His Pooh Shiesty influence is to get 100,000 more black men locked up. He's getting out. I don't know. With the way things going, I think they want this type of stupid shit out in the atmosphere. I don't know. Call me a conspiracy theorist or something. I don't know. But I think they want this motherfucker out of jail so more people could be stupid.
Sign the paper. That's not it's done. What shit? You drop this.
It just with the urban politician. Man, they got him on text planning crime. He right at home inside. Yeah, they got him on text messages. I need some real hitters, some certies. I need some real certified. A real certified would have told you, nigga, I'm not going on no crash dummy mission like that with you. I'm not finna ask, man, that's crazy. I'm not going on no crash dummy mission with you. I'm sorry.
Hey, Gucci, man.
Hold on. What? Uh-oh, AOC. Yeah, because that's what I said. This man self-snitched. This man told on himself. That man told on himself. Damn. To be a criminal is to be a slave by choice. Nah, these dudes want to be real. To nowadays, to get the public in society to like you, you got to be a crash out. They want you to be a crash out. That's the only way you get famous is to be a crash out. You crash out, you be a dummy. Everybody gonna fuck with you. But if you not, then it's you lame. You got to crash out for these weirdos. You don't do business. You got to crash out. You got to be a dumbass. If you can barely talk and you uneducated, you just gonna do some dumb shit. Oh, the world gonna fuck with you. But listen, man, on Brandon Tatum, they say Ilya Omar is attached to some criminal. Let's see.
Which I know nobody's shocked. She wrote a clip.
So Elon Omar's possible ties to a massive Minnesota fraud scheme are back in the spotlight. That after one of the scheme's alleged orchestrators was arrested in Somalia just last week. Garrett Tenney's watching that. Midwest Bureau with more. What details do you have now, Garrett? Hello there.
Hey, Bill, good morning to you. This guy who was arrested was allegedly one of the orchestrators of the massive Feeding Our Futures fraud scheme. And when he was charged 4 years ago, Abdikerm Idle fled the country. His name came up a lot during the trial of the now convicted ringleader of the scandal, Amy Bach. And that trial also exposed multiple communications they had with Congresswoman Ilhan Omar's staff. For example, in February 2021, there was an email chain between Bach and Omar's office with the subject line, "Help with USDA food programs," the same programs that were targeted by the fraudsters for more than $250 million. A couple weeks later, Bach sent Idle an email with the subject line, "Ilhan's office." There was also a string of text messages between Bach and Omar's staff. What did all of those messages say? Well, we don't know that because they were sealed by the court. And when Minnesota lawmakers investigating the fraud requested Congresswoman Omar to turn those records related to her office's contacts with individuals who've been charged or convicted in the scheme, she refused.
Is not like a one-off. He has relationships with many of those who have been convicted or charged in this scheme. So I think it's absolutely relevant that we get to the truth of what those communications with her office were.
Omar has not been charged or accused of any crime connected to the fraud, and she denies any wrongdoing, telling Fox Digital, any claim that I had knowledge of this scheme is flat out false. As I stated from the beginning, stealing millions of dollars under the guise of feeding hungry children to bankroll lavish lifestyles and extravagant expenses is reprehensible. State GOP lawmakers are now calling on congressional investigators to take this on to issue their own subpoena for those records. Bill?
Now, I wouldn't have a problem with them saying, or Ilhan Omar, if she was saying, I have nothing to do with that. Just because these fraudsters tried to communicate with my office and my staff, never communicate with me directly, I have nothing to do with it. There could be people that I've met before that I have taken pictures with, and I have met, and they do crazy stuff. They ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't know these people doing that stuff. I ain't got nothing to do with it. And I will say it flat out. You won't find me hiding and running from somewhere. If somebody was associated with me and they did something they ain't supposed to do, I'm going to flat out say they wrong. I don't support that, and they wrong. They're wrong. They're wrong, 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 wrong. I'm not covering for you. I'm not saying that. They're wrong. And if you got investigated because you didn't done something
Man, Ilya Omar she a bad mother trucker, boy. She can change up her taxes. She can be connected to all type of people. And guess what? Ain't nothing gonna happen. There's nothing going to happen. This is why I say these politicians are gods walking on earth, because there's nothing gonna happen. We're gonna talk about it. They're gonna put it on the news for a little bit, and then guess what? It's gonna go away.
Quick statement about this. This is the longest. I got 20 seconds left that I've ever heard in my life. Roll the clip.
I have just 20 seconds. I want your thoughts. Ilhan Omar, should she be expelled from Congress? The president said possibly even the country. Looks like there's no record of her being a naturalized U.S. citizen through her father. She might have lied about married the brother. What do you think?
Time out. Pause. She left him 4 seconds. Come on, Byron, because he a G. He can take care of business. Roll it.
If she's not naturalized citizen in our country, she's ineligible to be in Congress. So yes, she should be removed.
Short and sweet, baby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about this before. There's been already over 2,000 lawsuits pending against GLP-1 drug makers and making things like Ozempic and some of these other drugs that you guys are aware of. And the lawsuits are mostly based on intestinal issues. Now, I know you guys have heard this on the internet and people talking about the digestive system being stopped up because of some of these particular GLP-1s. But the thing is that they're not putting the stuff on the label. So that's the biggest problem. They got these, and I think people need to be paying attention to this, especially when lawsuits are involved. But of course, y'all know that I like to bring on the experts if I don't know exactly everything around a topic that I'm speaking on. So I have
Yeah, it is. It's not pretty, right? Ozempic face is not pretty, right? You've lost the weight, but now you look awful. So a lot of people always wonder, like, what causes Ozempic face? And it's really the significant weight loss and how fast it's happening, right? So it causes your fat to kind of vanish super quickly, and then you have this depletion. So it leaves your skin with reduced elasticity, sagging, hollow cheeks, sunken eyes, and then your wrinkles intensify because the skin cannot shrink as fast as the fat disappears. You end up looking older, actually. But honestly, Ozempic face, it's kind of the least of your worries if you're taking these drugs, because the health issues are just insane. It's causing vision loss, stomach paralysis, complete organ failure, but now it's being linked to mood disorders, psychological disorders like anxiety and depression, hair loss, especially in women, pancreatic inflammation, and something, I don't know if you've heard of this, called Ozempic breath. So, it's a term that's describing this foul smelling breath, metallic taste. Yeah, almost like a fishy smelling burp. So more and more people are reporting this. So you look strange, you smell strange. So never good. And of course, as mentioned, it's causing all these health issues and not good on the inside or the outside. So,
there's another, I guess, side effect that I've heard about, and it is pretty much going blind. So I can imagine if you wake up one day, you skinny as you want to be, your face looks crazy, but then now you somehow cannot see. So what is this Ozempic blindness? I think we have a clip.
Man, yeah.
We got a clip. Roll a clip.
Another popular weight loss drug used by millions is now at the center of a growing number of lawsuits.
Yeah, one Maryland man says that it cost him his sight. He is speaking out after suddenly going blind in both eyes and claims the makers of Ozempic failed to warn patients about a potential risk.
Fox 5's Katie Barlow joins us now live with this exclusive story. Katie.
Todd Engel was a truck driver for Howard County Highways back in 2023 when his doctor prescribed him Ozempic for his diabetes.
Is that why some of these people eyes getting big and bulging out their head? Now, I don't know, but that's crazy if Ozempic is making people blind. Damn. So you lose weight, but you go blind. No, I think I'd rather be big.
Diabetes. Then around New Year's Eve that year, he suffered a stroke and lost vision in his right eye. Now, he kept taking the drug, unaware of a potential connection. But 10 months later, he lost complete vision in his left eye. And now he's legally blind, diagnosed with Nion. Nion is the leading cause of sudden vision loss. And in his lawsuit, Engel claims that the drug makers were aware that Ozempic is associated with an increased risk of Nion and failed to disclose it.
I was terrified because the first thing that came to my mind is forget my job of being able to see my wife again.
Engel's wife, Shelley, has to help him with everything now, from going to the bathroom in public to driving to see family. The Engels had to buy new dishes with a half-inch lip on the outside to prevent Todd from dropping his food.
If I was cutting a small steak, I'm not sure if I'd be able to eat much of it.
He had to leave his job as a truck driver.
And I went in and I told them what happened, and I cried in front of my supervisors because I couldn't see anymore. I wasn't able to do my job that I really enjoyed and I love doing.
That's a terrible situation to be in. I mean, goodness gracious, losing your sight is astronomical. What's your thoughts on that, Ellie?
Well, I mean, if you know the whole story, it gets even worse and more heartbreaking. So, hearing about he'll go into a store with his 7-year-old granddaughter, she'll hold him by the hand and say, "This way, Pop," kind of pulling him along like a puppy dog. And while he's grateful for the compassion that people and, his young grandchildren show him, he's embarrassed by this disability because he's been independent his whole life. And it's all because of a drug that he took. And, there are even instances of sudden death. This guy I read about, Rob Briggs, perfectly fine. He died within hours of catastrophic internal bleeding. They were able to resuscitate him, but, he had severe brain damage. So his wife had to make the horrible and difficult decision to pull him off life support. I don't know if you've heard about Marsha Eddinghoff. So she was taking Ozempic for only 6 months before developing severe nausea and persistent vomiting. So within a few days, she choked on her vomit and died. I mean, these are horrible, horrible stories, all because they wanted to lose weight and, trusted the drug makers.
Yeah, and a bad thing is, it's not just the person's desire to lose weight. It's the drug makers not disclosing this stuff. Like, if you advise people that, hey, you could die or you could go blind, and you put it on the label, and it'll be fair. But we have an article that we have where the Epic Times, I think it's the Epic, it's Epic, no, Economic Times, where they have some evidence that Ozempic could possibly be hiding the fact that people are dying from using Ozempic, and some of these.
And Ozempic is a form of peptide, correct? It says, yes, Ozempic is a peptide. It is composed of a chain of 31 amino acids, placing it securely in the peptide category as it falls under the FDA's standard 40 or fewer amino acids limit for peptide classifications. Damn.
Other GLP-1s.
Yeah, I mean, the FDA has actually accused Novo Nordisk of failing to properly, report how many actual cases of serious side effects, even the deaths, are associated with the drug. So people just don't know about it. They trust, right? I do want to switch gears for 1 second and just ask you, where do you think GLP-1 drugs come from? Answer surprising, I will tell you that.
Where they come from, meaning what region of the
Just
world?
like, where does it originate from? What do you think?
Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea.
I didn't think
I'm
so.
hoping
I
it's
didn't
nowhere
think
this
so.
bad.
Okay, so it's from a very, very large lizard. You ever hear of the Gila monster?
Oh yeah, we got Gila monsters here in Arizona.
Woo! Scary looking creature.
Oh yeah, and they're poisonous. They're super dangerous.
Yes, yes.
So they come from the Gila monster?
Yes, they come from the Gila monster. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to look like a Gila monster. I don't want to smell like a Gila monster. So, it's really scary if you really, really look into all of these things. A lot of people ask me, how do these drugs actually work in the body, right? Like, what's going on?
Gila monsters, an iconic creature of the desert Southwest. And apparently, the scaly reptiles held the secret to modern weight loss.
They have slow metabolism, and they can go on 2, 3, 4 meals in a given year and usually do just fine.
In the late 1980s, scientists started looking into a specific Gila monster gene.
But I think later, towards the end of 1990s, they discovered this specific protein in the Gila monster's venom, which was able to potentiate the effects of insulin made by our own bodies. And that was the protein that they sort of used to then come up with all these therapies that we now had.
Gila monster venom is a large part of what helps them go for long periods of time without eating. And though humans still need more than 3 to 4 meals a year, it is one of the effects of GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic.
What the hell? Yeah, Taryn, I remember you showing it, but damn. What in the world? Yeah, Taryn was one of the first ones that came up here and showed that, but damn. That's crazy, B.
That have become quite popular for losing weight.
So they function because they slow down the metabolism and your digestive process, which is why stomach paralysis is so common, because sometimes it slows it down so much, it stops working completely. And so
Damn, they said sometimes it slows it down so much it stopped working completely. Remember, I found someone talking about this a while back, so that story was true. Yeah, salute to you, Taryn. That's crazy. That's crazy.
What happens is you essentially are forced to go on a starvation diet, then malnutrition comes in, which plays a part in worsening depression. Humans are not meant to survive off 5 meals a year, right? So this form of weight loss causes you to lose more muscle than fat. So I don't know if you've heard of skinny fat, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you're losing weight, but you're getting fatter. So yeah. Mhm.
I think
No
we have a
problem.
clip. I think we have a clip about this. That's so funny you said that before we play the clip. Skinny fat. It's so funny because I thought that was the craziest thing when people were saying it. Like there's a lot of women that said, "Oh, I'm skinny fat. I'm skinny fat." I'm like, "How you skinny and fat at the same time?" And then I started to realize what that looks like. You're skinny, but you have a lot of flab and everything else going on, and so you don't really look and feel like you're actually skinny. But here's a clip. Look like from Megyn Kelly's show.
I'm sure you're very familiar with the latest craze with semaglutide, which is an injectable drug that has
Ozempic.
Yeah, Ozempic being the diabetes version of that, Wegovy being the pure weight loss version. It's the same drug, just a different name. What I see behind the scenes of what it's doing to people, and I'm sure other doctors can tell you similar stories. Ideal weight loss would be if you lose 20, 15 of it should be fat, 5 of it should be lean mass. So you can't just lose fat mass, but 3/4 of your weight loss should be fat mass. When we're putting patients on these drugs, we're doing DEXA scans before and after. This is something the FDA did not require the company to do when they sought approval. We're seeing 2/3 of the weight loss is lean mass. Only 1/3 is fat mass. So they're getting lighter, Megyn, but they're getting fatter.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah. Worst diet ever, right? This loss of muscle mass is leading to things like osteopenia, osteoporosis, which is causing something else called Ozempic bones. This is downright scary. I don't know if have you seen this before?
Yeah. We got a little picture of this.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
Right?
That's fragile. I mean, you literally, the bone looks like it cannot handle weight and any of the normal things that the bone's supposed to be able to handle, especially if this is your femur. Imagine walking somewhere or lifting something, your femur snap in half because it's hollow. That's crazy.
Yeah. You would expect to maybe see this in someone who's much, much, much older. But there was a video earlier in the year. She was 30 years old. It went viral because she was diagnosed with advanced osteoporosis after only using Ozempic for 1 year. Right? So we already know how to naturally lose weight through things like diet and exercise. Is it easy? No, we all know that, right? But that's why people want a quick fix. And, this is really interesting. Something a lot of people don't know. There was a study done. It showed that people who are obese are actually missing a couple of crucial probiotics within their gut that people with a healthy weight, they possess. Isn't that crazy? And having these specific strains in your gut is what makes all the difference between being obese or being skinny. And I do want to say that it's not always due to body fat that people have big bellies. Bloating plays a huge role in what your waistline looks like. And kimchi, yes, kimchi has been shown to significantly reduce bloating. And that's because you have better digestion, better regularity. You're not full of poop, right? So kimchi has these special probiotic strains. In fact, over 900 of them. And that's why recent studies show how effective eating kimchi actually is.
Oh, I love that. Kimchi reduces fat or body fat by 31.8%.
No, I never heard of no damn kimchi. Have y'all? I never heard of that. Well, I gotta start eating kimchi, but I don't really have a lot of fat.
That's legit. It's this
really
rumor.
is.
Like I think people don't understand how important gut health is. It's like they call it a second brain because you have your brain here, and if your gut is all toe up, it causes all kinds of issues. But that is interesting. 31 and 0.8, almost 32% of reduced body fat. That's insane.
And it helps people maintain a healthy body weight, right? And no drugs, just kimchi. And it also showed a significant reduction in abdominal fat in women and even more so in men. We all know men as they get older, right? Their bellies, you get that dad bod.
Yes, I
and
know
women
that
too,
very well.
right? Just saying, yeah. But obesity is just the sign of our health. It's not the totality of it. And like you said, it all comes down to the gut microbiome. It really plays a huge part in addressing the root cause of all of our health problems, right? And so those of you who are unsure of what that is, it's basically an internal ecosystem that helps keep your body working properly. And when there's a disruption in the health of your gut, it triggers metabolic changes. So you store fat more, right? Which causes chronic inflammation, which then leads to higher rates of heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, cognitive decline, like Alzheimer's, dementia. And so there was another study done about how kimchi is so powerful on the impact of cardiovascular health. It just goes on and on.
Wow, this is incredible. Kimchi consumption. This is a whole bunch of big words I'm not going to even get into. But the system review of meta-analysis let's see, intervention studies. So yeah, I'm not gonna read all that because that's a lot of crazy big words,
I'll
but
sum
I
it
think
up.
you can
I'll
explain it
sum
for
it up.
us.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, they're saying that consumption of kimchi was shown to balance blood sugar, regulate blood pressure, lower bad cholesterol. And, you know, our core philosophy is that our appearance is a reflection of our inner health, right? And if you want to fix issues that appear on the surface, like obesity, you have to start at the root cause. You have to start within. And, you know, the key to getting all these benefits and more from kimchi is daily consumption. And that is why we created Kimchi One. Right? Kimchi is not something that's easy to eat every day. It's not in the American diet as a staple. But now it is because we've created these convenient capsules made for daily use. And, you know, for those that are wondering, we use a cold process drying method. So it retains all the fiber and nutrition of actual fermented kimchi. Virtually no sodium, unlike store-bought kimchi. 100% made in the USA, all natural, non-GMO, soy-free, dairy-free, gluten-free. And what I love the most about people taking this and talking with them is the success stories, right? We talked earlier about, you know, digestion and bloating. People had problems with that. They're not having problems. They're regular. And I have to say personally, the first thing I noticed when I took this is my jeans. They buttoned up a little bit easier. And I was actually like blown away that I could see.
Yeah, I use the probiotics and all that good stuff too, but that's basically what they're saying that you can get from this food. But basically that's saying that's what you can get from the food. But hold on, man. They mad at Clarence Thomas. Hold on, man. We got to protect Clarence Thomas or either beat him one. They mad at him, boy. Watch this. They so mad at this man. Dang.
What are you doing up here?
Oh, just walking.
No meetings in particular?
I'm going to tell you about.
Tomorrow's going to be a big day at the court, huh? Final day of decisions?
Oh, I guess so.
You want to give us a sneak peek of some of the decisions?
Nope.
But you can't tell us why you're up here today, who you're meeting with? Who are you meeting with, sir? Were you up here for any particular reason? No info on who you may have been meeting with? Anyone in House GOP leadership? That's who has offices in there.
Progressivism seeks to replace the basic premises of the Declaration of Independence, and hence our form of government. It holds that our rights and our dignities come not from God, but from government. It requires of the people a subservience and weakness incompatible with a constitution premised on the transcendent origin of our rights.
Second Black U.S. Supreme Court Justice, and he takes this stance. Let's read it together. Blacks were entitled to citizenship because they were Americans. I bet the founding fathers didn't agree with that. Let's continue. They had no other homeland, owed no allegiance to any foreign power, and were subject to no other authority. Let's dissect that for a second. Yet the 14th Amendment was only intended for former slaves, descendants of another foreign power. Therefore, they did have a place from which they came, although whether they wanted to go back is up for debate. Nonetheless, your words contradict your argument. He goes on to say the same cannot be said for the children of foreign temporary visitors. So the distinction between slaves and immigrants, refugees, is that one was brought by force and the other is a willing visitor. You got a doctorate in jurisprudence. You don't even believe this bullshit.
We're talking about this. The thing is Clarence Thomas is a black man, is going to overturn a Dred Scott decision, the 14th Amendment, if he's going to vote for that. I'm not sure how he did it. And then vote to gut the civil rights, the Voting Rights Act. It's just unfathomable to me. I don't know how he looks in the mirror. I really don't.
Boy. So we got to talk about the outrage that is currently happening on the left, specifically amongst black liberals who are upset with Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, who may be the greatest Supreme Court justice that we've had, at least in a while, right?
I told y'all they mad at this dude. And this is on Black conservative perspective. But watch how these people on TikTok go ham. It's not even, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Some of these people, man, Clarence Thomas better get some security. Well, I'm pretty sure he already got some, but he need more.
This.
People surprised that Clarence Thomas wrote a 90-page dissent when it came to birthright citizenship are just surprised because they ain't never seen no real before. I mean, Clarence Thomas is your everyday run-of-the-mill There are a ton of him in the South. I could go up to the local Publix and find probably 10 of Clarence Thomas's shopping at that damn local Publix. Okay. And also, let me tell you this, it's so interesting because everybody that has a regular job, like I'm not a content creator full time. I have a regular working class job where I work with a lot of regular working class people. Okay. And everybody at their job, not saying my job that I have now, but everybody at their job can think of that one, okay, that be on the premises, that one that every time management says something or every time management makes a racist joke, they're like, yeah. Everybody knows that one in the workplace. And it's so interesting because Justice Jackson, like, of course, she wrote her dissenting opinion, but then she also had a separate section where she gathered Clarence Thomas and his race and color blindness theory. That's the thing. Clarence Thomas is one of those black folks where people are like, oh my gosh, I don't understand how he blah, blah, blah. White supremacy is a multinational ideology, and Clarence Thomas has a PhD in it, honey.
Amazing. Amazing. These people are so anti-white and so pro-Marxist that they don't understand that they're actually arguing against something that, in my opinion, would be very beneficial for black people, right? Have you noticed, right? If you break down the actual policies of the black conservative, right, or the so-called black conservative, right, the so-called C word here, which I can't repeat because YouTube demonetizes the video. That's why I always censor that word. It's not because I don't want to say it. It's because YouTube literally will demonetize the video if I say the word, which is why the word will be censored. But everybody should understand the word I'm talking about. It's the C word that they call black people who actually think, right, who are not tilling the Democrat Party plantation, right? That word, okay, is always used against black people who, again, do not agree with the Democrat Party agenda. But they try to use the word as if it means that you are a black person selling out black people or that you're somehow anti-black, when I personally believe that the policies that black conservatives tend to believe in, right? I mean, like myself, I only can really speak for myself. But, you know, for me personally, I think that being against crime is pro-black, right? Locking up criminals is good for black folks, right? Being against abortion is also good for black people, right? I care about actual black lives, right? I think that economic opportunity and not having a government tax all of your money away, right? When you are a black entrepreneur and you're successful, you start a business, you employ people, creating an environment where black people can actually thrive, okay? I think that that's pro-black, right? Also on top of that, when it comes
No, you got to say all the blackity black stuff. You can't just, create a thing where black people thrive. You got to make us feel good too. What you talking about? We got to feel good.
comes to mass migration, I don't think that it's a great idea or it's great for black people to have a bunch of people from other countries coming into our country and taking away jobs and opportunities from black people, specifically young black males, which illegal immigrants compete with for jobs, right? Just like I don't think that having a bunch of people come into this country and have kids who become American citizens automatically because of birthright citizenship is pro-black, right? I don't think that's pro-black. I think that's actually detrimental to black people because ultimately it dilutes the citizenship, it dilutes the voting power and influence and economic opportunities of black people, right? But again, you have these blacks going on the internet and they call Clarence Thomas a sellout, even though I believe that from a policy perspective, from an ideological perspective, what he believes in, what I believe in, just so happened to align with what would benefit black people the most, right? And because I'm not a Marxist, because I'm not blinded by anti-white hatred, I can see from a policy perspective what is beneficial for the country as a whole also happens to be beneficial for black people, right? And what a lot.
But I'm going to ask you again, do it make us feel good? Do we feel better? Are you giving us any statues? Are you virtue signaling? Do you have any hot sauce? Do you have any good dance moves? Like, if you don't got nothing that's going to make us feel good, then we ain't fucking with you. I'm sorry.
These so-called pro-blacks don't understand is that they're so anti-white that they advocate for policies that I could argue are anti-black. I'm not talking what is pro-black about allowing mass migration into the United States. I can see how it's anti-white. I can see why they would want that, because again, they want to stick it to the white man. But again, that is what this is about. They want to stick it to the white man so bad that they will advocate for things that, again, I could argue are anti-black, right? It's amazing how that works. Absolutely amazing.
Thomas is the greatest example of what happens when you put a black child or a black person in an elite white environment and do not also make sure that they keep their cultural identity intact while they're in these elite spaces. And they end up succumbing to dealing with the whole.
What cultural identity? I'm just trying to figure out. So you want to go in white spaces and act black? Or what cultural identity you talking about? I go in all kind of spaces and I just be myself. I don't act black. I don't act white. I'm just me. I'm my mama's son. I'm polite. I'm respectful. I just don't get it. What is she talking about? Boy.
The wholeness of the environment and therefore losing their cultural identity. Many people are confused as to why Clarence Thomas would write this opinion for the Supreme Court case on birthright citizenship. As someone who understands his background, it kind of makes sense. If you don't know, Clarence Thomas is Gullah Geechee. He spoke Gullah when he was growing up. He actually was extremely pro-Black to the point that he was at a lot of anti-fighting protests back in the day. So when he came to Yale Law School and was a student here, initially he was extremely pro-Black. Now, as someone who is a fellow Black Yalie, I know a little bit about his time being at Yale, interacting with his white colleagues. He was deemed as a little bit weird, socially awkward, because of the fact that not only was he a Black male, but he was a Black male coming from a low-income background into a high elite space. So that in himself made him seem a little bit off to his colleagues who were there. Mind you, he went to school at the same time as the Clintons, at the same time as a lot of people that you guys see in our political world in general. Because of that, could we say that him being in this elite space, not feeling comfortable in his cultural identity, being comfortable to express that, led him on a path that actually ended up harming Black people in general? As someone who is...
You know what sound like happened? That when he wasn't around white people, he had a certain imagery of them, just like they probably had imagery of us. And then he got around certain white people and he realized that, hey, all white people are not bad. Same with Malcolm X when he went overseas and he realized that, damn, it ain't like I thought it was. It changed him. So that's probably what happened.
In these elite spaces as well, I constantly wrestle with constantly keeping my cultural identity intact. A lot of the times these elite spaces do want you to develop a colorblind approach because it makes them feel comfortable and not dealing with things that are uncomfortable, which is race and ethnicity. And also classism. This is at all is not an excuse as to me like explaining Clarence Thomas. I am just trying to give you guys cultural context as to what it looks like when an environment that praises a very smart child does not prepare it to maintain their cultural identity and who they are and their racial identity, and then put them into an elite space. I recommend everyone read this book. The reason why I recommend to read this book, because it gives you guys a lens of what it's like to be low income in a very elite space. If you are underprepared culturally to be in these spaces, you will succumb to a lot of things that end up hurting the communities that you come from. And this is a good glance as to what goes on when you are from a racialized, minoritized background in an elite space, as well as being low income at the same time. How do you wrestle with those multiple identities? If there's not a place that gives you support, you can succumb to a lot of things that end up hurting people that look just like you. Now, you may ask, but what about Justice Jackson? She also was in a very elite environment. She went to Harvard. She also has understood what it's like to be Black in these elite spaces. Why has she not had the same experience as Clarence Thomas? You have to go back when they went to school. Clarence Thomas is the first generation of Black.
Man, this lady is talking my goddamn head off. Lady, how much longer of this lady? Lord have mercy. I can't do this lady. I think I need to move on to the next. I don't like her no more. I don't want to hear what she got to say no more. She just rambling. So let me speed up, see if somebody else is going. This is just too damn much.
Not expecting any handouts, nobody owes you anything. That's going to take you much further as an individual than collectivism, right? And you know, ultimately, at the end of the day, there's some people that get it, there's some people that don't, right? A lot of the pro-blackies just don't get it because they're losing, right? When you lose at life, you know, you blame the white man, you blame everybody else for your problems instead of taking responsibility for it. So that's the easy thing to do. There's some people who get it and there's some people who don't. It is what it is.
So you tell me what you disagree with when it comes to Justice Clarence Thomas, because everything that he wrote in his dissent makes complete sense to me. Y'all want to extend these rights to everybody. I keep on telling y'all, Black Americans have an orphan spirit on y'all. This is our country. This is our land. We are from here. We have no other allegiance to any other place. I don't know about you, but I don't got cousins overseas unless they're serving in the military for the United States of America. It was the dissimilarity of American Blacks to foreigners that Frederick Douglass emphasized in his call for recognizing the citizenship of Blacks. We address you not as aliens or as exiles, humbly asking to be permitted to dwell among you in peace. Blacks were entitled to citizenship because they were Americans. They had no other homeland, owed no other allegiance to any foreign power, and were subject to no other authority. They fought and bled in the same battles, gained and gloried in the same victories, and were liable to be called upon to defend America in time of war alongside every other citizen. The same could not be said for the children of foreign temporary visitors. Foreign temporary visitors were attached to their home country, lacked similar bonds to this country, and would not be called upon in time of war. Americans, consistent with their settler ethos, believed that citizens were the people who called a place home. Accordingly, domicile, a person's legal home, played a key role in both state and national citizenship in America. A person was a citizen of the state where he had his domicile. Of course, birthplace closely correlated with domicile. Most children were born where their parents were domiciled and where, as a result, they were domiciled. The correlation was especially strong in the early 19th century when crossing an ocean for a temporary visit was an unappealing prospect for pregnant women. The law of domicile is essential to understanding the citizenship provisions of the Civil Rights Act and the 14th Amendment. So I briefly explained the relevant parts of the law of domicile here. Domicile meant legal home. The most common definition of domicile was residence with the intent to permanently remain. Because a person could have only one domicile, domicile was a natural criterion for citizenship. In the 19th century, dual citizenship was considered highly undesirable, if not a contradiction in terms. The principle that citizenship followed domicile also made it more likely that citizens would be attached to their country. As Alexander Hamilton envisioned it, the citizenry were the people who would join together against any threat, a large body of citizens who stand ready to defend their own rights and those of fellow citizens. Black slaves and freedmen alike were unambiguously Americans. They were not foreigners. They were not aliens. They owed no foreign allegiance. Our ancestors lived and died, fought and bled, survived, so that we could have freedoms that we're still trying to get used to, that we still have not figured out how to walk in 100%. And y'all are just ready to hand our freedoms that our ancestors fought for over all these other people who coming from these communist ass countries and are tearing up our country before we learn how to appreciate it. But if we're just now figuring out, we're just now getting our footing, y'all just now figuring out how to damn scam or whatever, however it is y'all want to get y'all money, y'all just now figuring that out. I don't believe that people should be able to illegally cross our borders and have a baby over here, and then that baby automatically becomes a citizen, and then that baby is attached to non-citizen parents. So then that baby and its entire non-citizen family, it gets to take up all of our resources. That's not fair. That is not fair, and it is not right. And they do not show respect to the Black American. Black Americans struggle showing respect.
No, what's wrong with what she's saying? I know some people are not going to get that. What's wrong with what she's saying? I just don't understand it. Everybody wants to get mad at Clarence Thomas because they don't agree with him, but I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Salute KB. Clarence Thomas made point that the 14th Amendment was to ensure children of slaves would be American citizens. They use it to allow illegals to have American kids. Exactly. I just don't get it, man. They hate this man because he don't want other people to piggyback off of things that was for us. And they saying he a sellout. He's a coon. Coon Clarence Thomas for not telling people what they want to hear. Ain't that a B? But that's my time, people. I appreciate y'all. I'm up out of this thing. Appreciate everybody who super chatted. I'm finna lay it down, but I'm up out of this thing. I'm gone.